Okay, there we go. We're live.
Hey everyone.
Hey, good morning. It is AM Coffee and Comics with Brett, Matt, and Tank, who is currently eating, but he'll be around shortly. Then again, I think our show kind of has developed a reputation for always starting late anyway.
I mean, it's not like the Kumite where it has music playing before they actually start.
Or dead air. Mike
Yeah,
Whitaker, Mike
but
Whitaker says he's about to eat toast.
well, Tank's on the other side of the world, so for him it's dinner time.
True. That is true, but you know, two-thirds of the hosts of this show are stateside, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right, so been an interesting week for Comicsgate, hasn't it?
Oh yeah. That whole refund gate thing going on.
You're not kidding.
That's why with Tonkasan you don't take teams. You just don't.
No, you don't.
You do, you're gonna get disappointed.
You should. Yeah, you're going to. So, but yeah, it's like, well, put it. I mean, like, not like that. I mean, like, you also had Mindy Wheeler walk away from it too.
Yeah, that was. Honestly, when I saw conservative libertarian, I thought, she's probably gonna leave because it's gonna be too much group think for her.
You're not kidding.
Libertarians are notorious for being independent.
That is true. Not gonna disagree with that. That's just like I kind of had a libertarian phase once upon a time, but just like I don't know, I just kind of moved on to being more. I moved on to being more paleocon now.
Well,
I got more. Although I still like, although I would say I do like some of the old school libertarians like Ron Paul. He was good.
well, the libertarians have become a disappointment because
They are a joke.
the party has become SJW in how it thinks.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, like I said, I'm with Dick Masterson. It's libertarianism is now astrology for men.
Yeah.
Plus, you have to. Plus, when you have a guy proposing that selling hard drugs to kids isn't a good idea, and he gets booed at a libertarian convention for it, that's when you know the party is lost.
Yeah, I mean, another red flag was that they refused entry to Ron Paul and Judge Napolitano.
Yeah.
To their national convention. It's just these guys did more than their fair share of getting attention for you guys, and you start just keeping them out.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, guess who just had a piping hot take tonight? This morning.
Who?
Movie Bob.
Oh boy.
Let me see if I can get the voice right. What do you think about it? The mutants and X-Men like a much better metaphor for being white than any sort of minority. They get special powers just by being born, organized in an East Coast private school, and even the good ones who fight the bad ones are kind of smug about it. Matt?
I'm gonna need a minute here. I need to commune with the dead air spirit.
We don't. Someday we're gonna have to get the dead air spirit on the show at some point.
Yeah, because that was just one of the dumbest things I've ever read, and I saw an article yesterday about how a an American author thinks that J.R.R. Tolkien was a racist because orcs were the evil race.
Oh, I've heard that claim too. Just because the orcs are like they're dark skinned, they're evil, and
Well, his argument is that it's racist because, dear God, because it teaches that some races are lesser than others. And this guy had written a book about that's supposedly set in Middle Earth, where a right-wing senator named Bilbo opposes orcs immigrating into the Shire.
Wait, was this the guy who got stopped and placed by the Tolkien estate because
No, that's that's the guy in Russia who wrote about how the Mordor was the good guys, Middle Earth were the bad guys, kind of thing. It's just, if you're gonna deconstruct Tolkien, use your own stuff. Be more like Michael Moorcock, who created Elric as a response to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Stop stealing other people's work.
Like Andrei Sapkowski, allegedly.
Well, I can't. You can't really say that because
What? Hence why I preface it with allegedly.
yeah. Plus, I think he's done enough on his own with it that you could consider it a separate work. I mean, unlike The Last Ring Bearer, where it actually rips out characters from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I know.
These deconstructionist guys are just so full of themselves about their claim of an intellectual superiority when they can't even reconstruct what they're deconstructing.
Well, that's kind of the point. I mean, like that everyone thinks deconstruction is cool because now I'm tearing. Oh, look at this thing you have value in. Then yeah, I'm gonna tear it apart. Cool. Now, well, what are you gonna put in place? I don't care. Nihilism. Rick and Morty. Wubba lubba dub dub.
This is one of the reasons why I respect Mark Millar, because when he did Jupiter's Legacy, he deconstructed the superhero genre, but by the end of the story, he reconstructed it.
Kind of feels like that was sort of him. Kind of like he was sort of making up for what he missed out with Ultimate X-Men and Ultimates and Ultimate Fantastic Four.
I kind of feel like he's giving the middle finger to Marvel Comics. Because most of the superheroes who turn into supervillains in that book are basically Marvel characters. These modern Marvel characters, especially when you look at how Bendis had Riri take over a sovereign country, or the X-Men invading Poland.
Yeah, it was just like I don't know. It's kind of but it also kind of shows like the sort of difference in thought process that Millar and Bendis had when they were given. Oh, they're serious Shogun. What was it? Wait a tick. Wait. He didn't click. Oh, shoot.
What?
I think I might have messed up for a sec. Give me a sec.
What to do?
I thought we were having them on. I thought we were having them on for the PM show. I forgot that they're on your time zone. Give me a sec. I'll send them the link. I'll send him and Clay the link.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
I misread this. I misread the signals. Give me a sec. Okay, but yeah, I remember watching a comics tropes video where he was. I don't remember the exact context, but here's what I remember. What he brought up was that when Bendis was when Bendis was doing Ultimate Spider-Man, he was more like trying to modernize it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah. Whereas with Millar, like he was deconstructing it.
But he was also trying to reconstruct it so that he could have something there in place of it.
I suppose. Yeah, I guess you're right about that. Yeah, I just sent Clay and Shogun open the link, guys. I'm sorry. I thought I misread the chat. I thought it was supposed to be the show on your end. That you guys were coming in much later, but yeah, you guys have the link.
You know, it's funny how time zones are awful. Because so so you ever see the show Sense8 on Netflix?
Oh. No, I haven't.
Basically, it was a show that is a collaboration between J. Michael Straczynski and the Wachowskis, and it basically had characters in different parts of the world. So you had characters in America, Sweden, Africa, South Korea. And during the writing of the show, they thought they had everything all perfect. And then
Shogun.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Just talking about comics and being nerds.
All right.
Well, he jumped in anyway.
All right, continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
All right, no problem. Well, basically what happened was that he then called them up, telling them that they have to rework everything because they forgot about time zones. One character would be during points where they would have the characters actually talk to each other, they would be in different time zones. So
why the fuck are you all on EST? Why get on PST? PST is best.
Listen. East Coast
fusion. So
you're in. Yeah, you're going to talk. You two are in Jersey. I'm out in Washington, West Coast, bitches.
Wait, what are you talking
You're
about?
outnumbered.
You're in Michigan. You're in the Midwest, Matt. You don't count.
I'm on EST.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll see if I can grab up Dylan and Brian. Right, and then we can start, and then we can have an East Coast West Coast feud again.
There's a East Coast West Coast feud. See, here's the thing about East Coast and West Coast. You know that it's always everyone in the East Coast always considers West Coast California, and they don't ever think about the states above it.
They don't think about Oregon or Washington.
And now they're like, Washington, what, in DC? They don't know that there's a Washington state, you know?
Where the fuck do they think Seattle is then?
Oregon.
In Seattle, they think it's a fucking state, probably. At first, I thought it was a state when I was younger. I didn't even know that Washington was a state. Well, that was like when I was fucking 10, so I really couldn't blame or Yeah.
Well, when you look at when you're a kid, you look at how stupid you are.
Yeah, no, I was a very stupid kid, so that would explain a lot.
I was going over I was trying to do the thing like how back in the day, like I think all of us, I think Matt may remember this, but I think we're all pretty much too young to have remembered this. Like back when there was the whole East Coast West Coast feud between rappers.
Oh my God, that's still a very existent thing today. Honestly,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Yeah, but let's put it this way: nothing like between Tupac and Notorious B.I.G.
Oh yeah, no, nothing like that. No, definitely not.
All right, so, I think it would get a little messed up because I thought we were having Clay and Shogun on the PM show.
Yeah. Well, again, it was kind of both like we were kind of confused at the times. Like we thought, like, oh,
I did tell. I was
ready.
I was pretty specific. It was It was on PST, right?
Yes, it was like 3 hours. Because again, we live on the East Coast, so
yeah. Anyway,
I feel kind of bad.
It's all right. Yeah, it's all right. We still get. We'll put it this way: we got Clay and Shogun for the AM show, and we'll have Ginger and Ava for the PM show. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Pretty sure Ginger will probably appreciate that more just because there's less people.
Yeah.
Although you guys can still jump in if you want.
Yeah, well, you see, I had a XLR mic coming tomorrow, and I kind of felt bad that I didn't have it today for the podcast because, like, I wanted to sound decent and not on this
It's all right.
freaking Logitech Pro.
It's all right. I'm either using the built-in mic or the mic that comes in with those earbuds you get with your phone.
Oh, really? You don't sound that bad, actually.
Yeah. Supposedly, I have a natural sounding radio voice.
Oh, there you go. Well, you see, I'm perfect for a podcast.
Yeah. All right. So here was what we were going to bring up with Clay and Shogun, which probably would have been interesting if we had Ava in on this. But yeah, I think we were talking about the upcoming. We were going to talk about the upcoming Shazam and Aquaman movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Were we? I mean, is that still on the table, guys?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
yeah, I think this started because Shogun put a post in, and then Brett and I joined in talking about it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Essentially, all the critics were raving about how Aquaman was the best DC movie to come out since The Dark Knight. And
that's a big
yeah,
like
that's
thing
huge. That's that's serious to me. I mean, it depends on how you feel about The Dark Knight. Before we start the podcast, did everyone like the Dark Knight movie? Are we all?
I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
you didn't hate it.
I thought they said the same thing about Wonder Woman.
Yeah, you see, I have a mixed opinion about Wonder Woman, to be honest. I don't know about you guys, but I did not like Wonder Woman at all.
Did not see it, but a friend of mine who saw it said it was decent.
It was a better Captain America movie than the first Avenger.
I'll admit I would say no to that. I think First Avenger is much better than Wonder Woman.
I thought they handled the war aspect of Wonder Woman better than the first Avenger, but
I just feel like it was a mishmash of different directions that it was trying to go to, And the thing about the end scene, I won't really spoil much about the end scene, but there was just a lot of talking near the end scene and like a lesson that they were trying to teach us at the end, and it was just like it wasn't necessary, That I feel like that's what really like killed me over on Wonder Woman. And also, the end when she's like jumping out of the building and like her face, and it's the exact same pose she had in the beginning when she's jumping out of the fucking clock tower, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, this
Yeah,
is... Yeah.
Yeah, the movie was good for 2/3 of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it lost the plot.
Yeah, my friend Dintes, where he got lost with it was with Ares, because he said, like, Ares is upset because man doesn't need him to commit war, so he's gonna cause a war so that it proves it needs him. It just, his motivation doesn't make a lot of sense. Was his criticism?
Oh yeah, no, the motives was clearly a little confusing. Yeah, and it just didn't have a lot going for it, I don't think, and everybody was like, well, this is the build up to Justice League, and if that was the little sample that we got, we're not going to be very happy with it.
Give it this much. It was better than Batman v Superman, but that's damning with faint praise.
It was basically Zack Snyder trying to be philosophical again.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that one. I do agree. Yeah, definitely, it was his attempt to on his roots, but fuck, man, like, come on.
I think the two things that really pissed me off about Wonder Woman was the slow motion oriented fighting and the kind of cop out ending that we get. Like, basically, I'm not gonna spoil it, but basically, they might actually try to do something smart, and then they just say, like, no, fuck you, we're not going to do that. We're actually going to do what you expected. And it's like, yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. I kind of felt like the movie in itself was lackluster. But in all spite of that, I feel like it's probably a very good teaching lesson for Aquaman. I think that's why it might be that good, because everything that Wonder Woman did terribly, they learned from that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't mean to like derail this conversation train. I just got this on Twitter, and I cannot believe this happened again while we were talking about this, like on a podcast. So you guys know Steven Hillenburg, right? The guy who made SpongeBob?
What about him?
He's dead.
Wow.
At 57 years old, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
What the fuck? It's like, man, this is gotta be like 2 weeks after Stan Lee dies?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Man, I was so torn up about Stan Lee dying too. Did you guys have a podcast about that? Talking about
we did. Oh god, I did. It was with me, Dylan, Dinte, and Ginger.
Funny enough, like we were doing a World of the Apocalypse session when we heard about it. So like basically, technically, if you watch one of our earlier sessions, that was like our first reaction to me and Brett's first reaction to hearing about his death.
Dude, that was a brainstorming session we were doing, but it wasn't an actual session.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was just crazy.
Yeah, I was actually I was coming home from work that day, and it was right as I got out. That's when the news broke that he died. But I was pretty tore up about it. But I mean, like, see, now you can't really like say in this exact moment. I could have been like, oh, I'm a DC guy, because obviously, like, the tattoo that I have is Krypton. So. But, like, still, I grew up to Stan Lee. Like, one of my first fondest memories of him is, like, reading Spider-Man comics. So, I mean, like, that's something. That was something.
I'll just say this, guys, and then I'll just say this, and then we'll move back onto our original topic.
Mm-hmm.
Matt and I have been privy to something that our friend Troy, aka Mr. Marvel's, been working on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's just say when Troy finishes this piece, I doubt I'll be impressed if you can actually look at that without crying.
You know what, man? I was a little teary-eyed when the news broke out, so I won't be surprised if I shed a few.
I'll drop you Troy's Twitter just so you guys can stay up to date, because I know Troy. He's gonna post that on his Twitter once he finishes it.
Oh yeah, well, definitely want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, you should follow. I should follow him just because Wampool's a great comic.
Yeah, it's
Oh, Troy, Mr. Marvel, Torres. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Okay, got him. Oh yeah, Wanpool. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Have you guys gotten around to Wampool yet?
Oh, it's like Wanpool's freaking hilarious. Like, I don't know my bro will like it, but it's just so freaking hilarious.
yeah. I haven't. I mean, I actually was reading like Deathsworn and stuff. I haven't read a lot of indie comics as of yet, to be honest, because I was very like preoccupied with stuff that I was doing.
That's
But
understandable.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I still always try to look at recommendations. I always, like I haven't read comics in a long time, so it was kind of nice to like brush back up and see what everybody else was doing. So yeah. So it's nice.
Yeah. Like I said, Wampool's great. I mean, so actually, Shogun, what did you think of Deathsworn? I saw Clay's video on it.
Okay, so it was kind of funny because the right before I read Deathsworn, I read the like 8th or was it like 6th issue of Cosmic Ghost Rider, and I love that comic book. Like that is one of my favorite comic books that ever thing. And I love space and stuff like that, so I really wanted to see how Deathsworn was going to hold up. And man, it's actually amazing. It's an amazing comic. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed where it was going and the pacing of it. And I can't wait to see the 3rd issue.
Yeah, I've been trying to get Carl onto my show for ages. The only problem is like he's busy, and then of course there's the. If you think. Clay knows how much of a miracle it is coordinating our werewolf sessions when we've got Roz out in Greece.
Oh boy!
And then we got Carl's out in Ireland.
In Ireland? Oh my God!
Yeah.
So these sessions, right? Like, for the most part, are you able to keep it consistent at least like once a week, or like?
Yeah. Yeah, more or less. We've been able to do them on a weekly basis, more or less.
On a weekly basis, okay.
And Roz shows up every time. I think he's only missed a couple.
Oh wow, what a trooper! Look at him.
Out in fucking Greece.
Out in Greece, man. Out in fucking Greece. And here we are sitting on the East Coast, West Coast, and he's out in fucking Greece, man. That's amazing. Yep. That's amazing.
But yeah, I think that's part of why it's been a bit of a challenge to get Carl on. Although I think it might have more to do with him just being a busy guy at the moment.
Like from how these comics are made, I could tell he probably has a tight-knit schedule. Like they're high quality,
You're not kidding. Oh man, you want to talk about
the UK, isn't he?
Ireland's not part of the UK.
Oh, my bad.
Northern Ireland is.
Right.
Yeah. Although I was gonna say though, you want to talk about when you were talking about high quality, man, like Matt, were you in last night's podcast? No, it was just Dylan.
No,
yeah, last night I was podcast with Dylan, and I had Brian and Trent on.
Yeah, I was at work.
Yeah. Okay, so Brian was talking about like how much of a perfectionist he is with Rags. Like he had no joke. He's had to send pages back to his artist Luigi about 8 or 9 times before he was satisfied. And that's just because like he is very particular about things Regina does.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. Brian put it this way: like his part of where Rags came from was his desire to write some military fiction that was actually accurate. He hates most, if not all, military fiction because they get everything wrong.
Generally, when we talk about stuff being not only fiction but like but when they try to say true to self and stuff like that, it tends to
be crap.
you know, not well. I mean, if it's a big like movie being released or something like that, generally what like the business wants is something that definitely like interests the audiences, and like they always try to like stray away from how true something can be, you know, like it sucks, it really does. Like because you take away from the image, you take away from you know, if you're talking about like just say, you know how like we have like World War II movies once in a while every time, and now we have like we had like Overlord come out, and I know Overlord is not trying to aim at anything, but like just for example, you know, like if you're trying to tell like true, you know, World War II, some audiences like really are like they don't want to hear about it, you know, they'd rather just think about that entertainment and the explosions and all that, and they don't really want to like see the realism that comes out of it. I don't know.
Yeah,
just with some things, you know.
Yeah, well, I think with Brian it's just more because like just because it comes from his background. And hey, there's Tank.
I think.
How you feeling, buddy?
Okay. Wait, just give him a
guys.
second.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Okay, do you get is it the you feeling any better since we last talked, man?
Yeah, well, the stuff the doctor's got me on now, I have to use a nebulizer to use it, but hey, it's getting delivered directly into the lungs with me breathing it in, so it's working.
Yeah.
So make all the vape jokes you want.
Okay, you okay with us telling everyone what you came down with, just so people aren't wondering?
A severe case of bronchitis.
Oh, damn, man.
Yeah, and it's right at the start of our hottest seasons this side of the world. So
it's in Tank's in South Africa.
Africa.
Yeah, today we looked at 80 degrees with 91% fucking humidity. So sitting in that weather with a fever is not exactly the most fun thing.
Oh God, that just sounds awful. No, I can get around that. That's just awful. Like I had a case of the flu earlier this year where I was stuck on the couch for like 3 days, and I didn't even have the strength to eat. But that's worse.
It like I said, got pretty bad, but feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
I can actually breathe because yesterday, sitting waiting to get to the X-rays and everything.
Yeah,
my doctor was saying I might actually have pneumonia.
Oh shit!
Thank God it wasn't that, man. Especially
bronchitis.
Bronchitis is still, you know, awful, but like pneumonia would. Whew.
Yeah, so
especially in that fucking humidity, Jesus, man, like come on, couldn't catch a break.
Rather the one, but not the other. But surviving.
Yeah, you said it's like 80 degrees out in South Africa. It's like 52 out here in Washington.
Yeah, well, the flip sides of northern and southern hemisphere.
Yeah. What about you? What are Jersey and Michigan like right now?
31 degrees.
Well, right now we got a flood warning.
It's like 44 out here though. And it's like, well, we're about to have like 5 days of straight rain.
If it's
so
30,
you guys in Washington might know what that.
Right? Yep. It's that time of year where it's cold and rainy. Actually, Matt, since it's 31 out in Michigan, hasn't it started snowing already?
Yep. Oh yeah.
I would actually kill for some snow right about now. I would actually kill for some snow right about now. So currently our temperature 73 degrees, 81% humidity. And it is nearly 8 p.m.
God, I think the worst I ever came to living in something like that was back when I lived in Florida for a year.
Yeah, humidity is freaking worst, dude.
See, I can handle heat just as long as it's not humid.
It sounds like if you ever immigrated stateside, you'd want to live in Arizona.
Well, I would like a place that has rain.
Not California, then.
All I'm gonna say is, Arizona. I know
I'm
you like.
looking at the interior of the country. You know, nice, flat, rural areas, not a lot of cities.
Montana, then.
I was thinking Utah or Montana.
South Dakota. No, I'm kidding. No, I don't know. Probably.
Yeah. Okay, so
Anyway,
before Tank
what are
jumped
we
in,
talking about?
where were we? What were we talking about? Before
We were discussing about. Well, we had a little. We derailed a little bit from.
I remember.
Aquaman.
It started with Aquaman and Shazam, and then it somehow turned over to us talking about the comics coming out of the indies.
Yeah.
And then I was talking about how particular Brian is with rags, and that's because the reason why he is such a stickler for those kinds of details is because he was in the army.
Right.
Yeah. See, we actually in our One Private DM we had a great discussion about this recently.
Yeah.
Everybody blames him for being OCD, but come on, if you think about it, that's not OCD at all. If you have your finger on the trigger and your safety's off, you are at great risk of accidental discharge.
Yeah. Well, you know, I feel like in itself, like, if you've been there, if you feel it, you know, like, you'll know what's real and what's not, you know, in a way. Like, I guess, I don't know, like, if you want it to be told how you want it to be told, you know, like, you really, I feel like you do have a say in what's to be put on there, you know, like, I mean, I guess that's why, you know, like, he was, you know, well, he is determined on making sure that, you know, realism is coming out of his stuff, you know.
Well,
so, I understand.
As about as real as you can. What about
Yeah.
telling a zombie story about a half-naked ginger?
Yeah, that is that's something. I mean, I can't really say much
Half-naked
else.
ginger, that's a combat veteran.
That's a combat veteran, yeah.
So obviously those little details will matter.
I mean, like, it's I mean, you just gotta, no matter the situation, you can always still find realism in it, you know, like, and I understand that. So I do see, you know, even though it sounds like crazy and stuff like that, there is definitely still some
There's a
realism
method
put
to
in
the
it.
madness.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I mean, then of course you get books like Wanpool that aren't even aiming to be realistic.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, and Deadpool in itself is, I mean, he's just a character, you know, like that stuff you cannot, you know, that in the inner, like, parts of your mind, you just gotta put that shit out there, and that's Deadpool for you, you know.
Well, that's true, but yeah, I'm just talking more like with Wanpool. What is funny about Wanpool is just like how many levels of parody this thing is, because it's a parody of Gwenpool, which is a parody of Deadpool, which is a kind of a parody on comic books. I don't know. It's like,
or a ripoff of a DC character.
Allegedly.
And now there's another. No, it's actually confirmed. He is meant to be a parody of Deathstroke.
Yeah, I know.
And now you have Chelsea Kane, who's come out with her own ripoff once again, Renpool.
Yeah.
Amazing Gators.
The thing with, I never understood what the appeal of Gwenpool was, like, other than the fact that she was like a self-aware comic book fan or something. Like, like with her, it's like Gwenpool I think Lenny talked about this in a show we had her on, Matt, but it's like the idea is like she's like the embodiment of a comic book fan, and she gets sucked somehow into a comic book universe. But
not to blow your mind, Heather Antos self-insert.
Yeah, I know about that too. Actually, I think to hear Diversity in Comics put it, Gwenpool only exists because Jordan White wanted a work girlfriend. Jordan White was the editor for, I think, Gwenpool, or yeah, I mean, like, yeah, he was like if I get this right, if Heather Antos was like an assistant editor, wasn't he like one level above her?
Yep.
Yeah, he was like how she got the job.
Oh
Wasn't
my
he?
God.
All because he won. All because, like, okay, I mean, like, I don't know if that's true, but it just, I don't know. Given how much of a cock Jordan White is, it just makes so much sense that he wanted a work girlfriend.
Although, to be honest, when I said the other day in reply that Heather Antos is more like the Zoe Quinn of Comicsgate.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was when we got into a thread with Vamp Candy from the Kumite when she was about to engage with the parasite.
Yeah, let's not dwell on that too much.
Do not. Yes. Hashtag starve the parasite.
But yeah, we told her as soon as possible, just don't engage, because there's going to be nothing useful or fruitful that's going to come from any conversation regarding this person.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, and she was. And when you told her that, yeah, when you told her that the parasite was more like the Brianna Wu of Comicsgate, I was like, I loved Vamp's reaction to that was just priceless. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, now that we are talking more about how Heather Antos got her job at Marvel, it's just, hey, Zoe Quinn all over again.
Well, I mean, that's allegedly, because I think with like it was actually kind of proven with Zoe Quinn. I think. Granted, it was only coming from like a what was it, a blog post?
No, look, by the time Comicsgate started up, Heather Antos was already working as an editor at Marvel.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, the difference is like we don't have any proof that Heather Antos fucked her way into the position she was. Mm-hmm. Whereas with Zoe Quinn, all we've kind of got to go on is that blog poster X dumped, which all signs seem to point to it being true, though.
Well, yeah. Let's look at the evidence. I mean, come on, she was quite vocal in trying to shoot this down. She sicked a lot of her buddies from all these different publications on this guy, dogpiling him off of social media.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like I said.
Sorry, smoking gun.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, kind of. Like, it's about as much of a smoking gun as, like I said, it's all we have. All we have is his word, but the signs do seem to support it.
Hey guys.
Yes, Matt.
Yes. They just now released information of how Stanley died.
What was it?
Heart failure and breathing issues.
That does make sense. I mean,
broken heart, dude.
He was 90. Oh.
I mean, come on, guys. His wife was gone. He was here alone. Yep. I noticed it with my grandparents as well. After my grandfather passed, my grandmother was not long for this world after that.
Right.
Yeah.
My grandmother lived about 2 years after my grandfather died, so it's...
Yeah, it's just one of those things, dude.
I don't know, like, because my grandfather outlived my grandmother for like about 30 years. But that was because she died when my dad was very young.
Ah.
Yeah, so he was kind of slowly killing himself over the years.
Yeah, I think for the most part, if it's going to be if one member of the couple dies later on in life, the other one's not going to be long for the world because they feel like they've already lived enough.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you probably got a good point. Like, yeah, and you know what I mean. Like, I'm just gonna say this though. I mean, like I think the most tragic thing about Stan is that he never got to be a grandfather.
Oh yeah. Well,
it does.
Yeah, that's something. But you know what?
His daughter never married and she never had children.
Here's the other thing that sucks. You'll never see a good version of Fantastic Four made.
Oh, that's what fucks me up every time that I think about that. That he was never able to live that out, at least, because that.
Hey, well, on the plus side, he did live to see a good Spider-Man adaptation.
Oh yeah,
and most of the good Marvel adaptations he lived to see, and he did cameos in them.
Yep.
Yeah, and
so
he was still writing the Amazing Spider-Man newspaper strip.
So
I still couldn't believe though that he was also able to live to have a scene where he's sitting and talking with like the Watchers and stuff like that. That blew my mind. He was able to do that. I mean, I don't think he even thought he was ever going to be able to do that. Or see Thanos on the screen. That's just crazy. That's amazing.
So he actually did do quite a lot.
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
and hate to repeat myself, but cannot be replaced, and he shouldn't be either.
No, it's time for somebody new to blaze a new trail.
Let me put it this way: once Troy drops that piece he's working on, I think you'll kind of see.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, it's a super secret piece.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it'll probably be one of the best things Troy has put together.
Now here's what we need to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Marvel's legacy is definitely set in stone, never gonna go away. We will live our lives knowing, showing our kids this stuff, but I want to be able to live to see a good set of DC movies being released. And I'm hoping, trying to get back on the track here, that Aquaman is the first step. Am I right?
I really hope so, because it seems like, I think it was the second or third trailer that showed hey, we actually give a shit. And
I watched Wonder Woman recently, and I thought that was a very good one.
I'm like,
you're in the minority here, man.
No, we were actually just talking about it. Some of us thought it was a little lackluster, a little faulty with its plot and its ideas, but it had different, it was. I feel like it was very mixed up, because there was some people that really enjoyed it and some people that didn't like it at all. It had its moments.
My whole thing about it is, and this stems from the bar being set very low,
right,
by the previous movie. Same as after. I'm going to use Amazing Spider-Man as an analogy here with the Andrew Garfield films.
Fair enough.
That film drove Spider-Man so deep into the basement.
Right.
Spider-Man Homecoming, which in my opinion was not a good film, literally I just had to walk across the pole and it to be better. That's all it had to do.
Right.
And that's all they actually did. It was a middling film in my opinion. It was still good. Technically well shot, but it was middling.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
For Wonder Woman. The bar was so low, they just had to trot across the line, problem solved. Mm-hmm. But I think that is it might not be the best film, but I think that is the spark of where they finally decided, okay, we found our balls with these movies. Now let's build on this, finally.
Right, but do you feel like that maybe after all these movies are shot, there was a lot of talk that they were going to stray away from actual Justice League, just Marvel was going to be like, oh, well, we'll see how the Avengers last us. That's where everybody knows the Avengers, but there's these
DC
big
Rush.
comic. Yeah. Oh yeah. DC Rush. But DC was thinking that either we keep trying with Justice League, we, keep putting more money on that, or we try on comics that are away from them, for instance, people were talking about Batman Beyond and all these movies that were coming out that were stray aways from Justice League and all that, the main continuity.
Kind of seems like DC sort of Matt's back. Matt's back. Okay, kind of seems like with DC they sort of put all their their eggs in like their straight to DVD animated movies and their comics, just because those are better than any.
Okay, I'm back.
I mean, like there's kind of no contest that DC has comics that are more consistently good than Marvel does right now.
Yeah,
and their straight to DVD animated movies are really good.
Oh yeah, DC. Yeah. Oh no, I do agree with that.
Yeah, and although still, I mean, like Matt and I had this discussion, I think like last week, but this is just something that boggles my mind.
Right.
Why did they not use the DC animated universe as a template for this movie universe? Because all they would have had to do was just copy everything they did there, and boom.
I do agree that the DC animated movies are very good. I just think that when it comes to the silver screen itself, I feel like they would have to probably provide a lot more than they do.
Not the animated movies. I'm talking like the animated universe, like the stuff with like the stuff from the Bruce Timm era.
Oh, you mean
Batman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited. All they had to do was basically copy that.
And like I said, Warner Brothers is a very fractured studio. The film department will not work with the TV department.
Yeah. If we got, I said it before, it's like if we got the closest thing DC could have had to a Civil War film was basically like they just if you guys seen like the Ultimen, you could have just like pit them against the Justice League, and you've gotten your Civil War film.
And you know what?
DC.
Another thing I like to add about that is that the way us, like when we were around growing up and seeing, Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and all that in these animated shows, they now, disagree with me if you think this, but they are completely misconstrued in the movies. Like they are completely one-dimensional. Like they are not like shot to how they were. Because come on, every single Superman movie, other than maybe like a few of the older ones, have just made Superman into this guy that is just thinks like he's impervious to everything, barely shows like a human side or anything like that. It's just
he's like boring, basically.
Yeah, like really, really boring. But the Justice League. I mean, the Justice League shows made him like really the interesting character, made him the leader, and also like a lot of things that they really like miss in the movies. I really loved Superman. I mean, I love Superman. Like Superman's my favorite superhero of all time, but it's just
this is now, if you want to talk DC movies, I'm just going through all the ones I own that I've made copies of for my PC now.
Okay.
DVDs got stolen. Wonderful. I like those people. They can go fuck off. But anyway, I'm looking at my catalog here, and let's see: Superman, Doomsday, Justice League: The New Frontier, Batman, Gotham Knight. That's that anime mashup that they did for Batman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I'm looking at these films Under the Red Hood, and here's the best one. If you want to watch a good Suicide Squad film. Batman Assault on Arkham.
Yeah,
I love that one. Yeah, that was a great.
That's what the Suicide Squad movie should have been.
Yeah, everyone kept saying that, along with if you guys ever played Batman Arkham Knight, it's almost like I'm watching Under the Red Hood, but completely butchered. Like the storyline itself is
simulator. That is literally what I felt of that game, Batman Arkham Tank Simulator, because you spend so much time in the Batmobile, you do not, after the brilliance for Arkham City, Arkham Knight and Arkham Origins to extent, they're both just horrible titles. They weren't up to Rocksteady's previous standard.
Yeah,
I mean, they started off strong with Arkham Asylum. Arkham City blew it out the water, and from there on it's downhill.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Now I just wonder what they're gonna do, if they're gonna try, and because I know obviously Bruce Wayne is out of the picture now. What they're gonna do?
Though, like, he's quote unquote dead, which he really isn't.
Yeah.
I don't know, like what's after Arkham Knight, like what's left for them to do?
Well,
to be
they
honest.
said, I mean, like the end credits, they had like what looked to be Batman, but like it's in the future. It's like
Batman Beyond.
yeah, that's what I was hoping for. I mean, I love Batman Beyond too. Like that was one of my favorite shows too, and
Yeah, like I was gonna say, you guys are looking at the new Terry McGinnis in the future. I'm telling you, Shogun will be Batman Beyond.
I look like him a little bit, but I don't know about that.
Who?
Me,
Batman Beyond.
Terry McGinnis.
Sorry.
Yeah, but
Cough.
well, you know what though? It's there's a lot of things I look forward to for DC to come out to. It's just I don't ever see them happening. Like I don't ever see a good Superman game coming out anytime soon. I don't know about you guys.
They just it just seems like they fail every time with that.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Who here? And I was actually unfortunate enough to play it at a friend's house because they imported an N64. Who played Superman 64? Yeah,
You did.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started, because like if we went a quick
Look,
story,
we all saw the angry video game nerd video of that. Let's just leave it at that.
all right.
just as long as you understand the pain.
Yes.
Yes.
That game almost single-handedly made me hate Superman. I really love Superman still. Somehow, after I had to pick up the broken pieces from that fucking game, but like I don't know, it's just I don't know
So-
what they.
Shogun, seeing as how you're such a massive Superman fan, like who would you say is like been your top writer for Superman, like best run in your head?
If like
My
comics,
best run for Superman. Wow, that is a great question.
Yeah.
I would say one of my favorite comics is definitely All-Star Superman. I mean, I think that was a great comic.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that was I don't know. I feel like that was well put together. There are a lot of ones of him like dealing with the idea of like what he's gonna do after he's Superman, or like what his future is gonna be in life, or the image that he has. I just love those like thought-provoking questions that come out of comic books, such as like Superman.
Yeah. Guy I was in a conversation with said that the thing he found most interesting about Superman is that he essentially has the power of a god, but he doesn't use it.
Right. Yeah, one of the movies that I used to watch as a kid too that made me really think about Superman was Kill Bill. Like that. You remember who watched Kill Bill? Does everybody watch Kill Bill here?
Yep.
Yes.
Do you remember the part when I forgot the dude's name, but it was like the very end when he's he's just talking about like disguises that superheroes have, like when Spider-Man is not Spider-Man, he's Peter Parker, and then he goes, but Superman, Superman is always Superman, but he tries to put on that identity of Clark Kent, but like when he was that makes me think like he always wanted to be Clark Kent, like he always was Clark Kent when he was born, like he thought he was Clark Kent, but he is, like, so it's just, that's a lot to think about, as a superhero.
Yeah. Like speaking of like the great, in my opinion, the greatest Superman animated movie I've ever watched was probably Superman versus the Elite, which was basically, of course, the biggest complicated question of should a hero kill or not kill, and it's like,
Oh yeah, that's based off an issue called "What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way," and
it's such a great. It's like I love it because like, and another thing too, it also kind of puts in that question that, at least like, would Superman kind of work in a more modern oriented era? And like we do see him that like people are starting to change their opinions, but also it's like try to keep those ideals that yes, Superman could still work, and then no, Superman may not work, and it's just great.
Actually, there's a thing. Actually, there's a little detail you might not know about it, because that whole storyline was actually kind of made as a response to this Wildstorm comic called The Authority. This I assume Matt and Tank know what I'm talking about, right?
I missed the question. Sorry.
Yeah, that storyline, Superman, What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way, was kind of made as a response to The Authority.
Yeah, I know of it, so my knowledge is a little bit hazy.
Okay, the Authority. It was a book put out by Wildstorm back in the day. It was one of the Image books. It was done by the original run was done by Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch. Matt, I know you have to know that, Matt.
Yep, and the second volume was written by Mark Millar.
Well, yeah, Mark Millar and Frank Quitely. But yeah, the thing with The Authority was like these were superheroes that were proactive. Like they kind of did not do things in half measures. Like they would kill the bad guys, and they had no qualms about doing it. And so basically what the Elite and that Superman story was sort of a riff on The Authority, because it was back in the 90s when they were trying to get superhero comics to be more edgy, and so you have this comic that kind of is reinforcing what Superman stands for.
You know what? I mean, Superman and the Elite was... I feel like it wasn't my favorite like Superman animated thing to come out, but I did like the idea of that, and especially like going up against like when you go into a comic book, like sometimes you think as a human being, what you've seen, what you've gone through, you couldn't do the things that Superman could do. Like you don't have that morality that he has, like plus the things he said, like he has the willpower that's stronger than anybody. And I guess what that was trying to reinforce that, like humans, like even though there are some that are so cut above the rest that can say like, I don't know who played Spider-Man PS4. Like I think Spider-Man PS4, the decision at the end that he had to make was like, a lot of people could not relate. They would save that person, that means the most to them. But like Superman, he's a different type. Like he thinks about the masses. He thinks about the people that, he protects every day. And a lot of people like the Authority and the Elite, they're like, well, if I just kill it, then the problem will end. But they don't see like the big picture.
Yeah, like I could totally understand like the comparison you put in. Of course, like unlike Spider-Man, Superman thinks about the entire planet. Like, well, of course, and he has the power to do that. But like now, he feels like he has this entire burden onto his shoulders about whether he's doing the right thing or not. And it's just like the world, like you said, the world is changing, and
like some of us. For instance, like if we saw somebody that like a loved one that or somebody we really, really cherish the most, and we were this like, big power that helps and protects people every day. But in order for us to save them or something like that, or like a cure has to be released, but you can't save the person there without, killing thousands and thousands of people, like there's
that whole needs of the many.
Like that morality, that thing, like you can't find sometimes in modern worlds. Like there's a lot of times where it's been shown that people, like they just can't do it, and that's what makes Superman so like amazing as a character, and I do love heroes that also like take that other option, because then it shows like a human side of people, like morality is a great thing in comic books. It's something that needs to be represented.
Yeah, because it's like, again, which reminds me, because I think like Under the Red Hood also utilized a few things as well, but on a much more personal scale, involving Batman's relationship with Jason Todd, aka the Red Hood, where again he puts the blame on himself, thinking that it's his fault that Jason became a killer. And sure, he's not killing any innocents, but still, it's like he's killing people, and he blames himself for what happened.
And of course, there's that really good exchange that they have at the climax where
he's like, I
can't do that because it's too easy. If I ever started killing people, I'd never come back from it.
Yeah, like you would go into a dark place that you can never get out of, right? Yeah. No, I think that Batman is definitely another. I feel like Batman is a lot more of a personal representation of, like I say, morality. That's where sometimes, and you know what, like Injustice is a perfect example of sometimes. I feel like Batman might be a lot more morally capable of doing something that, they really can't take away from. Like if Superman was forced to kill his wife and his unborn child, right? And obviously he went and killed Joker, and that's what started the Injustice comics, right?
Yeah, Justice Universe.
And then Batman was just like, you can't do that, and then started that whole thing. Like, there were comics that show up like that are like, wow, so maybe Batman might be morally stronger than Superman, like, that's another thing to think about.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact is that just because I think it's because of the space in the DC universe that Batman occupies, like he's kind of, I mean, like Superman's confronted evil, but you can say he's definitely confronted evil, yeah, but
right.
I don't know. I guess you could say like Batman's actually peered into the heart of darkness or something. I don't know. Like, do you guys have any way of putting that? Because I'm kind of at a loss for words there.
No, I know exactly what you mean by that, because I have seen a lot of comic books where he has had this like his whole storyline with the Court of Owls is definitely like a call to how, even when he is completely driven towards the point of insanity where he thinks he's lost everything and stuff like that, he still somehow finds a way to crawl out of it and do what's right. It's crazy. I mean, I love Batman, but just that thing, like if you want to go to a psychological superhero, I feel like Batman's definitely a good character to think about.
Man, if you want a fucking head case for a character, there's Moon Knight.
Oh yeah. Wow, Moon Knight I know all about too. I mean, Moon Knight, that the comic that recently came out where he was in the insane asylum, and he had there was that point where I was thinking, well, what the hell is it? Like, is he actually Moon Knight, or is he actually this crazy person? Like, what is he really? That makes you think too. I mean, Sentry, Moon Knight, all these characters that have these personality disorders and all these things like that. That's another thing too. I love seeing a human side, or that little thing in our brains that we sometimes can't wrap our heads around, and it's put into this comic, and it's just great,
Yeah, although I mean, with the thing with fucking Moon Knight is this was just me going off of a video that Mim Headroom did about him, where he just seemed to. His impression of it was that the writer Max Bemis is a very disturbed person, and this is him using the comic to work out his psychological issues.
Go to an insane asylum with professional help.
Well, he's actually admitted that he has mental issues, so it more likely is Max Bemis trying to work things out.
In which case, that dude should be seeing a therapist.
I was gonna say, it's is there any official creators that you guys know of that in your opinion is officially psychologically insane?
Max Bemis.
Psychologically insane. Pretty much anybody that went on to Mobile onto social media and called for the active beating of people's heads with baseball bats or wishing death to people with IEDs.
Okay, so
Any sort of psychological crazy ass.
Wait, you're talking about like artists, right? Like writers and stuff like that?
I got 4 off the top of my head. We got Max Bemis, we got Mark Waid, we got Max Visaggio, we got Michelle Perez.
Oh my god.
Mr. Show My Ass to everybody.
Oh, Robbie Rodriguez. Oh, that guy is a fucking creep. Like he got pissed at Frank Cho for for posing Gwenpool all sexy and shit, and he said, "Hey, don't do that to one of my kids." And
oh my god.
What about that other guy? If you guys can help me with his name, that one dude that wants to like put like one of his family members in as a character, but like kind of more like not respectful, but more kind of like disgusting.
You gotta help narrow it down. Do you remember what title this was on?
Well, I know his Twitter handle. It's like Daredevil kind of character guy.
What title was he working on?
He may have been working on Daredevil. I definitely think he was working on Marvel.
If it's Daredevil, that can't be Charles Soule. Charles Soule's actually run his Twitter pretty well, from what I've seen.
Daredevil and crazy, there's only one guy, Mark Waid.
Probably.
Yeah, I was like, did Waid want to put one of his family members in as a character?
I don't know, but like Waid has just been.
He's unhinged enough.
He's fucking unhinged, and I'm glad that Zach is taking him to the cleaners.
Yeah. Oh well, that's what we're hoping.
Well, he's taking him to court. It's just like the guy, and I hope he cleans him out.
Okay. What else should we talk about? Let's see.
I guess to have a more uplifting, we should talk. I guess Shazam, because you know what? I watched that trailer. I think I saw that trailer when my brother and I went to see Venom, and you know what? That trailer that left me feeling good.
It's I didn't like that stupid ass dance that he had to do. I'm like, that's as bad as the freaking. I thought he was gonna dab almost, but no, he just swings his arm around. Like,
you know, here's the thing. Here's the thing I think about that. You know, like, and this goes to like a lot of you know, like the entertainment business and stuff like that. Like it's trying to. I know a lot of comic book movies nowadays. They try to reach all audiences, right? So like to put that dance in, obviously that's like a big fucking Fortnite dance and stuff like that. That was huge, like for the Backpack Kid and stuff like that. I understand why they put that in, you know, because there's some stuff out like they're just trying to reach all the audiences and the little kids that play there. They'll be like, oh, look at
it's Billy Batson. He can get away with that.
Yeah, not only that. Yeah, but not only that too. He's a kid, so I understand it, and I'm not even mad about it. I just thought it was funny at first, and now that I just see all these kids doing it now, I was just like, oh,
it's corny. It's corny.
It's corny, but like I understand why it's out there. You know, like kids are corny. I mean, you know, I was a corny kid.
Yeah, you know, I'll fucking take it though. I mean, like Shazam actually looks like it's going to be a good wholesome superhero movie.
Between Aquaman and Shazam, I think DC may be, provided they can keep on track. I think they're turning the tide on Marvel in terms of. I mean, what they need to do is leave the Grimdark behind.
Okay.
Literally, that is the thing that they need to leave behind, the Grimdark, because. Yeah, it works, but there's one hero and one hero only it will work for, and that is Batman.
Yeah.
Batman is the grim dark hero for
no, not true.
For DC.
Not true. You also got John Constantine and
right.
Constantine, but don't apply that to the entirety of your franchise. I mean, this is like writing advice which a lot of people are avoiding. It's
excluding Aquaman and Shazam, like the DC like movie universe, they only really got like Batman right so far. Because I mean, let's all admit, we all thought Ben Affleck was going to suck ass as Batman, and then he proved us wrong.
Well, for what he had for what he had, I feel like he was okay. Like obviously the thing with killing, I'm like okay, no, but like but how he was, I thought he was a decent Bruce Wayne.
I agree.
I thought it was good, but I gave him the benefit of a doubt because remember when people heard that Heath Ledger was going to be Joker, people shit canned and shat all over him as well, and he delivered the seminal Joker experience.
Well, not only that. I mean, like even though like people give Ben Affleck shit for a lot of movies he's been in, and to be a lot of them are terrible. And some of them aren't all his fault. But I feel like he really kind of redeemed himself once he started directing.
Yeah,
I liked a lot of his films. I mean, when he did, but then again, my film, I can enjoy a movie for what it's meant to be, but even I have my limits. So I thought Paycheck, where he plays that guy that after each major job his memory gets erased. I thought that was a good film. I personally thought Reindeer Games was a great film as well. That's it. The more dramatic stuff, not so much. When he plays action roles, I think he's a competent actor, which is why I did not think that he's actually a bad choice for Batman.
So then you didn't really think too much of Argo or The Town?
Nah, they were good. No, not something. Look, like I said, my tastes are weird when it comes to film.
You know what though? Like another thing that I did like him was The Accountant. I like that movie.
Yeah, I loved him in The Accountant.
I forgot about that.
Oh,
I mean,
he was great in Dogma too.
That's what everybody says. It's like, oh, it's a good film, but I'll probably forget about it in a day. And I'm like, I'll be honest, it felt like, come on, it's like it's not that forgettable.
Like another good movie he was in too. I mean, obviously like Good Will Hunting, but that was like an older one, but like that was a decent movie.
Dogma,
right?
That's funny.
Yeah. Paycheck was good. I mean, Live by Night was all right.
Yeah,
that one was all right.
Yeah. Now, is he still on to direct the Batman movie, or is that like completely fallen through at this point?
I'm pretty sure it's fallen through.
Yeah, like I don't know, like because they've been going on and off about that. Honestly, I don't even know why they want to try doing that Flashpoint movie because the Flash actor, I can't stand him anymore.
Ezra Miller.
He's such a.
I'm sorry. The seminal Flash actors are stuck in the TV versions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does anybody actually like the CW show still, or like am I the only
one? I think I dropped off of Flash around season 3, and I haven't gone back, and I'm not really sure if I want to.
I dropped it after like watching the first season of Supergirl because it was just like I could not stand the drama and the soap opera shit going on. I'm like, I want to watch this, I went back to watching Daredevil. I'm like, see, this is how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But look, for what they are, they're great. They're fun shows. And we discussed this last week when I said you could pick up exactly when a certain writer writes the script.
Mark Guggenheim.
Exactly. When he's not there, the shows are great. But when they fucking unleash him on that script, you get melodrama to the point where it is the melodrama version of somebody trying to apply grim dark to the story.
I just feel like when stuff like that comes up, sometimes I can't tell the difference between like the CW show and a soap opera. Like sometimes it really is.
I know, right?
Sometimes it feels like
but
that.
When they get to the action scenes, the CG they do for a TV show budget, I think is very good.
Yeah,
the costumes look great.
I agree.
Those are accurate.
Wait, hold on. I was gonna say real quick. The wedding fight was probably one of the best. I'll admit one of the best superhero TV fights, show fights I've ever seen because we got Team Green Arrow, we got Team Flash, we got Team Supergirl. Like everybody is fighting Nazis. So I was like, what, you can't beat it.
Actual Nazis, not pretend Nazis, actual motherfucking Nazis. That was great. And that's the best part. And I follow because I haven't watched it. We cancelled paid TV and all that stuff got expensive. So I haven't been following the show. So I've been reading up on them, and it's like I followed the Refests over on Twitter, and it's like the usual suspects came out. They were hoping once again for some narrative bullshit, and they didn't deliver.
Yeah.
Because, oh my goodness, actual Nazis, not your pretend kind that you just want to construe any normal person to.
Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But I was gonna. But yeah, those those CW shows for TV budgets, those aren't bad. I mean, like that. I remember when they had the King Shark, and they had King Shark in the Flash. I mean, like that doesn't look half bad.
Yeah, that episode was really good, mainly because for the CGI and because they got Snake to voice King Shark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think when it cut, I was gonna say though, because when Tank was just constantly was bringing up Grimdark, I was gonna say I was gonna jokingly respond with, should leave the Grimdark for 40K. That's about the only. That's about the only property that does it well, and even then, there are times when 40K gets so dark it's hilarious.
But they play completely self-aware. They know what they're going for. They're not trying to take it so flippin' dark and then play it straight. They know what they are and they run with it. They make no qualms about it. They make no any bullshit about it. This is what we are. We're gonna run with it.
You know what? And as you say that, I feel like most, if not a lot, of companies have a hard time figuring out what they are, like, or they know what they are and then they mess up anyways, It's like, it's crazy. I mean, you can look at anything, like video game, comic, anything. There's always somebody that messes up their own image, trying to be like something that they thought they were, but they're not. It's tough. But man, DC.
I think about the only thing Games Workshop needs to decide on is what a reasonable price for their miniatures is.
Oh boy!
Why would they, after as many years of fucking raking in millions off the damn things?
Although I have heard that the new Space Wolves starter set is actually reasonably priced for what it is, like something. I think it's going for like about it's like $150, I think, and you get like a whole starting army that I think includes like 2 dreadnoughts.
Well, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. So speaking of 40K, I mean, I posted a video earlier today about. To go back to 40K now, one of the Ultra Smurfs, old Manius Kalgar, has been upgraded to Primaris.
Really?
Yep. There's a rule book and everything has been released. So
okay, just
what does that mean?
We're up to speed on what Primaris is, in case anyone in here is not that familiar with 40K.
Super rare super soldiers.
Yeah,
so basically, super space marines, whom themselves are already superhuman.
Exactly.
So super soldiers.
Yeah, that's why I went for the super rare super soldiers.
Yeah, that's Shogun Clay. This I don't know if you guys know this about 40K, but the thing with space marines, like these guys, they're not human. These guys are actual fucking superhumans.
Yeah.
But now they're extra superhuman, right?
Yeah. Well, the Primaris are.
They're nothing compared
to... Basically, the idea behind the Primaris Marines, to cut it short and just make it easy for people to understand. So the Emperor originally made the 24 Primarchs, which are the...
I thought it was 20. That was
20, 24.
There were 20 Primarchs and then 2 got stricken from the record and we'll never know why.
Yeah, well, I get lazy with the details, I'm sorry. But anyway, so they're the template on which the normal Space Marines were based, but with some fuckery from the Chaos Gods, some chapters tend to have GNC deviations, GNC being the thing that needs to be implanted so they can get the rest of the augmentations.
Examples?
let's see, Black Rage and Red Thirst, essentially uncontrollable for the Blood Angels. Uncontrollable rage, like Bloody Berserker Rage, they go completely insane. Natural space vampires.
Or you get the space wolves who have the wolf thing where their gene seed flaw could turn you into a space werewolf.
Yeah. Or you have the what's another fun one?
Does the thing with the salamanders count?
Yeah, the salamanders, they're sus unmembrane, whatever the fuck it's called. That's a lot of lore. Basically, they have a special augmentation that all Space Marines have this, that their skin automatically darkens so that they can withstand high. But due to their home planet of Nocturne, I believe, I don't know, this thing's overactive. So yeah, you got a whole chapter of Space Marines that are essentially black skin.
Well, black skin with red eyes too.
Glowing red eyes, yeah. And then for later chapters, guys like the Lamenters, they are the literal unluckiest motherfuckers you will ever find.
Oh, the Black Dragons have a really interesting one because the flaw in their gene seed makes them grow bone claws and bone crests.
Who was it? The Firehawks that literally lit themselves on fire for no reason whatsoever, and it didn't affect them.
It's like
sounds to me like a phoenix right there.
It's like Mad Max, where it's like they want to be chosen, so instead of like spraying that paint in their mouths, they just set themselves on fire.
No, but this happened due to some fuck up in their gene seed. So it's like literally, first they were normal, got into battle, and they light on fire the entire chapter. All 1,000 of the fucking Space Marines, they're all on fire, and there's no ill effects on them.
Oh, wait, so they're immune to the fire.
They were immune to the fire, but everybody else around them weren't.
Oh, boy.
But they get along great with the salamanders.
Like
salamanders love lighting shit on fire.
With that out the way, essentially what the Primaris Marines are is to fix all sorts of gene seed deviations as such.
Whoa, wait, so what you're saying is that they're cleansing their... Wow.
Yeah,
okay, now I see what you're going at here.
I'll find the video and I'll link it over on Twitter. You can follow me at HeavyTankZA. I'll drop it in the chat here quickly just so it can be easier to find, the Hangout chat.
Yeah.
And so you can just
but
it'll be the one on the top.
I'll link them your Twitter. Give me a sec. What was I gonna say? But actually, wasn't Calgar the Ultramarine chapter master
until Robot Girly Man made a return?
Oh yeah, that's right. The Ultramarine Primarch is back, and of course, there's also talk that all the other Primarchs are gonna supposedly come back.
All Primarchs, both Loyalist and Traitor, provided they're alive.
And I think the only ones that are dead I know off the top of my head are Sanguinius, Conrad Kurz, Ferrus Manus, and fucking Horus.
You see, I haven't played 40K in so long.
I don't play 40K desktop, tabletop. I play the games on PC and I read up on the lore.
Oh, you read up on the war? You doing it like you do the actual physical war game or no?
No, there's no money to buy the fucking.
Dude,
I know.
Dude, think how the expense. Okay, Shogun, think how expensive the miniatures are in U.S. currency. Now imagine how expensive they are in South African currency.
Ah, boy.
Take that price times 14.5.
Fuck that. No way.
Yet you have people this side that play.
What troopers?
Hey. But yeah, so my thing with 40K is I played the demo of Dawn of War and I was hooked on. Once I played that, I was like, this is cool. I'm going to start reading up on this. And I'm hooked ever since. Crazy.
It's It's unbelievably expansive too. You know, I mean, I love. You know, I used to play World of Warcraft all the time, and I just couldn't believe like, you know, how they could expand upon something like that. You know, like all the time, and then seeing like 40K, like I actually went to like a few of, you know, like I had a bunch of old friends that I would go and used to play a couple war games with, but I honestly like I still barely knew a lot about 40K, but I used to love.
Yeah, I mean, like everything I know about 40K is more come from either tank or stuff I've gleaned online and stuff in the games. Has anyone ever gone through the books? Because I hear the books are good.
I still have to get around to those eventually someday, maybe.
Yeah, like you get they made a whole novel series out of the Horus Heresy alone.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to need to have 2 lifetimes to read all of them.
Okay, just drop the tweet so you can go watch the video.
Those are a fuck of a lot of books.
Jesus, man.
It's the list, and I mean just the Horus Heresy books alone, which they're still writing.
Seriously?
Yes.
How much is left from that time? Is left from that era in 40K's history?
I gotta talk about Horus's pet dog too.
Well, to be honest, if you take a look at all the existing lore prior to the books being written, the Horus Heresy, for as big a event as it was, they kind of skim over quite a lot of intermittent details. I mean, they give you the bullet points of the big things like the Isstvan 5 drop site massacre and things like that. But everything leading up to the Siege of Terra and all those things, that's pretty glossed over. And I've gone through fuck tons of the lore on all the various wikis and things that you have. And while there's a lot of detail, you could see some very obvious gaps in there as well. So there's a lot of shit that they can write about.
You know what, I feel like sometimes as a writer, like, and you feel like you can expand upon the storyline that's going on, they leave these gaps. You know, so I feel like 40K, man, there's got to be a lot of gaps for these new ones to come out, you know, like, I remember what was it? I was trying to think about the time when I started playing 40K. Let me see. Oh, I remember when I first played Space Marines. That was like a fucking great game. I love that game. Like,
that was a while ago too.
You know what? Honestly, though, that was the time that I didn't even know about, you know, Warhammer or anything like that. So then when I played it, I really wanted to jump into it, like actually figure out like what's going on here, because like,
you hit with an immense wall.
Tank will swear up and down best Space Marine protagonist is Titus, even though he's a fucking Ultramarine.
Yeah.
So,
but that's
so in case you want to know
he's
how
the
long
most un-Ultramarine. Sorry, Matt, you wanted to say?
Oh yeah, just so everyone wants to know how long the Horus Heresy is in novels. They're up to 51 published, and another 2.
Those are full-length novels, not novellas or short stories.
No, full-length novels.
Wait, how many pages?
51 full-length novels. What's the average page count on those?
What the shit?
Average word count in a full-length novel is around 100,000 plus words.
Get the hell out of here.
There's 400 to 500 pages.
Oh my god!
Of 51 full-length novels, not novellas or short stories.
The longest is 510.
So if we're going by that, that's like 20,400.
Sounds like a nice coffee break book.
You could have a whole library filled with these.
Yes, you can.
They were pretty much all written, released every other month since 2006.
Well, the thing is, like, I think the thing is though is like they're not all written by the same person. Like you get like, I know Dan Abnett's written a lot of them, out of the 40K novels.
Not a whole lot of the Horus Heresy, from what I've seen.
Oh yeah, that's right. Dan Abnett's written most from the Black Library.
Yeah, there's about
how many authors? Because there's no way they could be releasing these on a monthly basis unless they had multiple authors.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had more than 50 authors on these things. Holy moly!
Yeah.
Woe to the guy who has to. Woe to the guy who has to be the editor for these.
I know he must. You know what? Can we get some likes for him?
well, I think there's probably about 10 of them, and oh hey, apparently her, because one of the novels is written by the editor.
Oh.
One of the novels is written by. They had to take charge. You see that?
Yeah.
Gotta continue this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's see, like the authors I knew off the top of my head, there's what's his name? Guy who wrote the Hell's Reach novel, although that's not a Horus Heresy novel.
And there's only 2 cover artists.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Well, that's no wonder they all look this. No wonder they all look the same.
You know what? At least they're keeping the design.
Yeah, well, and that's it. It's not like 40K has a very different aesthetic you could go for.
Well, true. I mean, that's true. I mean, it has a defined look, and you want to keep it consistent. I mean, I'm just saying, I do not envy the person. I do not envy the lady who's had to be the editor. I mean, she's had, God knows how many hours she has spent trying to make sure all these novels written by all these different authors and making sure they're all consistent.
That's why they have 4.
4 editors?
Yep.
Still 4 editors for 51 freaking books? That's a lot.
And
that's just the Horus Heresy ones.
That's just... oh, my...
And Dan Abnett only written 5 of them.
I hope they get paid a lot, man. They really, go above and
Games
beyond.
Games Workshop is a fucking money factory.
I still know
51 bucks. They push out a lot.
Yeah.
There's still Games Workshop shops near me.
Oh my fuck!
What? What tank? What?
I found the list, incomplete list, and it's Wikipedia. So take it with a grain of fucking salt. But I'm gonna link this in the chat now. Oh my fucking word!
Oh Lord!
That's a lot.
How many? How many? How many?
Too many.
Too many to count.
Too many.
If there's too many accounts, you got yourselves a library full of lore.
You got the 30K. You got the
good luck reaching a lifetime to read all this, man.
Jesus! Who do they think has all the time to read all this?
It's 31 years of Warhammer.
Oh my God.
Dude, who do they... It's
who would read
why is this? How is this... Actually, here's a good question.
How do they all connect, though?
No. What I was going to ask is, how is this not in the Guinness book for most novels published in a singular universe? This has to be.
It might be. Let's see.
I don't think I've seen... I don't think I've seen in a fictional universe that had more books written about it.
Okay, so they started writing these originally in 87 after the initial release. And since 1997, they put them all under the Black Library imprint. So, but let's see, just off the top, you've got the 30K series. Then you switch over to 40K, Adeptus Mechanicus. They literally break it down into every single type of thing you could have. The Gothic War, they have novels on the Grey Knights, the Inquisition, the Iron Hands, Raven Guard, Rise of the Inari, which is a new Eldar Nephias faction with the rise of the Eldar God of the Dead Ennead, which is essentially the new god created by the Eldar to kill Slaanesh.
So I looked for the Dungeons and Dragons list of novels, and I think they beat 40K.
Yeah, it's possible. I can believe that, but still, it's
I guess so. Dungeons and Dragons has been around longer than 40K.
Yeah, they've been going on since the 70s.
Yeah.
So
Still,
imagine how many books that is.
Yeah,
but this is some reading material. Oh, and then there are comics as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Then there-
Oh, man.
But
They gotta
this is-
have a whole
is a
new team for
considerably
the
shorter list.
comics, right?
Just so.
This is a considerably shorter list. They have published by Black Library, by Boom Studios, and Titan Comics. And that is the list. Published date starting 1997 to current. Okay, so Black Library from 97 to 2004. Boom Studios did from 2006 to 2009. Titan Comics has been handling to present. So not a lot of comics to work through.
As far as like Dark Horse or anything didn't pick these up if there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
That's
I should.
still, that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot of reading material.
it's crazy. Like, oh my god! Like I said, like the Horus Heresy alone is enough of a time sink. Like how takes. Like I'm not gonna begrudge them for wanting to make for printing extra reading material for more money. Just Jesus,
That's all.
I like who's got the. I want to know if anyone's actually set out to collect all this. Because there's somebody out there, someone somewhere, has made it his life's mission to have all the books.
You know what? Not only to collect all the books, but actually to read every single one of them. You know that? I want to know someone who has done that and actually memorized everything. You know?
Also, by the way, guys, Avid showed up in the chat.
How's it, Avid?
Hey, Avid. Oh yeah.
Hey, Evan.
Oh, yeah. Before I forget, me and Brett were discussing last podcast before it ended. It's like, yeah, if anyone's got any questions for my comic or whatever, feel free to ask me or whatever. But no spoilers though, of course.
No spoilers.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously, big boy.
I don't know.
So how long have you been running the podcast for? Because I'm like, this is probably like a first guest, right? I'm like first
Yeah,
guest.
all depends. Like this is the streaming we did has been kind of a recent thing. I think we started like this thing like what was it, like a few weeks ago, guys?
A few weeks ago?
No,
Yeah.
a few weeks ago. I think like let me I've got a whole playlist on my channel. Let me check it. But yeah, I mean like this was kind of a thing that kind of sort of sprung up as like I think the best way I can put it is like there's like a bunch of other people in our little corner of the comics community that run streams, and most of them I can't make because of my work schedule. So this just kind of sprung up as a means of me being able to do them. Okay, let me see. Like the first one we did on Dan's channel, that was like almost a month ago. It was back in October.
Oh. I mean, so it sounds like,
So this is relatively new for me, but my regular podcast I've been doing for like almost 2 years, I think. Although it's been off and on due to shit happening in real life.
I understand.
Mostly Sam losing him being without a good mic, and I want to get him back in. Okay, but yeah, we kind of started doing this thing as like we just have like an AM show and a PM show on Tuesdays because it's like the only time like Matt and I can really have off.
Yep. Which normally I don't have a whole lot of time on my hands.
Yeah, it's just like because like I said, there were like a bunch of streams everyone else was doing that we would have loved to make, but we couldn't.
Well, you know what? It's all about as long as you have fun and everything, and also have the time.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like these. So that's kind of why we keep the stream so casual. Like, there's not real. there's not really a theme or anything. It's just more an excuse to hang out with our friends.
Yeah. You know, it's there's people like that. You know, a lot of people like that. You know, I like watching it, to be honest. So
thanks, man.
Yeah, so I just got like the news on like again like this is so cool. We're getting so much comic news on comic movies on Twitter, but like Hellboy's coming out April 2019, and we did get that new picture.
You know what though, like I don't know how many of you guys are Hellboy fans, but
I like Hellboy.
Yeah, I'm a huge Hellboy fan too. I was more excited about the picture of him holding Excalibur than I was of that one, because his face, man, it is laughably like, oh my god, it's I don't know which one I like more. I don't know, because Ron Perlman was like, the costume just looked a little bit different than his. I mean, I can understand, because like, you know, if you look at David Harbour and Ron Perlman, they just, you know, have very different faces. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, not just that. I mean, like, I'm also gonna like. I think like Ron Perlman really nailed like the personality for Hellboy.
Yeah. I mean, it's I mean, and if you watch the cause what was the they had a like an animated movie, a bunch of animated movies that came out that I watched for Hellboy. Something about oh my god, it was like another I think it was like Sword of Storms. I think that's the one that I
Is it the animated couple? Yeah, there were like 2 animated ones I remember.
Yeah, the one where he fights a vampire and the other one where he fights 2 like Japanese oriented gods. Basically, he fights Shogun.
Yeah, basically, right? No, but you know, and then Ron Perlman, like, even, you know, I guess he was so dedicated to Hellboy that he even voiced in the animated series too. You know,
he did. I think, but like,
what was it?
I was gonna say though. I mean, like, the thing I kind of think with like Hellboy's personality is that he's very how do I put it? He's not phased by supernatural shit happening. Like, he never comes across like he's in over his. Well, like, there was like one time there's one comic where he's talking with a guy, and this guy's going on about the chaos gods and shit, and he's just waiting for him to. He's just
waiting for him to finish talking.
Well, not just that. He's waiting on the guy to just transform into a monster, and then the guy does, and Hellboy's response is, "I knew you were going to do that."
And we can't forget his one-liner always of crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was happy they added him in Injustice too as well.
Yeah, it sucks they couldn't get Ron Perlman though, because like he's worked with DC before. Like, he was freaking.
He's too busy pissing his hands.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to deal with his pissy hands.
Okay, here's a good question. Who has filthier hands? Ron Perlman or Doug TenNapel?
I would squarely put this one on Ron Perlman.
I don't know. Ron Perlman doesn't wash his hands.
Is that true?
I mean, not Ron Perlman. Doug TenNapel. Doug TenNapel doesn't. Yeah, Doug TenNapel does not wash his hands in public restrooms. To be fair, now public restrooms are. Being someone that has had to clean public restrooms, those things are filthy. But I'm just thinking, dude, you could at least carry around a bottle of hand sanitizer.
Or soap.
He created Earthworm Jim, right?
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Now, you know what? Someone who creates Earthworm Jim definitely has, you know, there's something about it.
Well, then there's his latest comic, Bigfoot Bill.
Okay. Yeah, we used to play the video game. I remember that. It was the old one, then the Nintendo 64 one.
Yeah, and that motherfucker doesn't wash his hands in public restrooms. So, but yeah, although I will say that I guess it's kind of a toss-up. Guy who doesn't wash his hands, guy who pisses on them.
I'd still go with the guy with the fucking pisses on his own hands. Only to prove a point. Because who's to say he doesn't do that for anybody else?
Except for Harvey Weinstein. Avid says I wash my hands like an OCD person.
Same, Avid, same.
Yeah, I'm like
I wash my hands when needed.
Yeah, my work's got a strict employees must always wash their hands policy, so I have to. Although actually I think every work has that.
Oh, I wish my fucking place of work had that.
Really?
Oh, no, you do. Let me put it this way. When I went to work on Monday, prior to me being sent home, I wanted to go to the bathroom. And I apologize to everybody in the chat, but both toilet seats were covered in piss, and there were piss stains on the floor next to the urinal.
Oh God. Okay, that's disgusting. But what? I'm not gonna. But how does this prove that you don't have a employees must always wash their hands policy?
Because guys go in there, you hear them at the toilet, you hear the toilet flush, and then you hear the door open and close.
You never hear the sink go on.
Nope.
I could tell you stories having been.
I can take you a picture of walking in there in the morning. Of
Please
the
don't.
soap, the liquid soap. No, just the soap.
Okay.
Of how full it is when I walk in the morning, and then how full it still is by the time I leave in the afternoon.
Yeah, Avid's eating.
Yeah, like I said, I gave a warning there.
I guess he didn't take it. Well, I got my food right next to me, but I can understand, if for me on cleaning, it's like, I always try to, if I'm doing something, it's like, oh, that's obviously I'm gonna have to wash my hands after. I'll definitely wash my hands. If I even blow my nose, my hands get washed. Yeah, if snot goes onto my hands, yeah, totally. I'm washing them.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like, every place I've worked always had an employees must wash their hands policy. So, like, especially back when I worked at Burger King, like, they were very strict about hygiene. Like, I couldn't eat. Let me put it this way: my first day, I accidentally put my hands in my pants pocket, and my manager told me, "You gotta change your gloves."
Well, you are working with food, so I could kind of understand that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I'm not knocking him for that, but yeah, I mean, like, even at my current job, like, I started there doing janitor work. I have seen things that did not look like they should have been able to come out of a human's body.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was off. And the worst day I had on that job was the one time the septic pipe backed up and flooded both the men and women's bathroom. Cleaning that up was not fun.
Yeah.
I was in there for I must have been in there for 2 hours cleaning that up. It was it was the worst day I ever had on that job.
Now I want you guys to find that Warhammer 40k mega fan and have them on the stream.
Okay, I'll tweet it out. I'll tweet out that I'm putting a bounty on the guy who's collected all the 40k novels.
Oh yeah, all the books.
30K.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put an age range on this guy, but it's probably someone who's at least in their 30s, 40s, because a big time 40k fan. I reckon.
I'm going to tweet this out. Putting a bounty on the guy who has collected all Warhammer 40, capitalizing that all Warhammer 40k novels.
I went to clean a restroom at work 10 years ago. Someone crapped in the middle of the floor somewhere near the toilet. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Well, I've like honestly, for me, with the whole there's doo doo on the floor, or whatever. I'm used to it because my dog did it when all the time, so I'm used to it.
No, look, I'm used to it as well when I'm at home. When I know my dogs are, I'm not used to it when I'm supposed to be at my place of work. You know?
Yeah, you expect people. Look, Clay, you expect humans to be toilet trained.
Yes.
Some people are worse than animals.
Yep.
I'm not gonna. All I'll say is like probably one of the things that was just the most shocking for me to see was seeing a turd the width of my forearm.
No,
Okay.
yeah. I don't mean to gross at anyone, but I'll say it real quick. The reason when someone's unmentionables are pushed out of their exterior and it's that big, it's either because they hold it in or because it's some kind of like.
I don't even want to think how it's possible. It's just like, how does that come out of a human's body?
Well, if you've watched South Park, you know why.
Oh God.
Bono.
Because good fucking crap, man. It's like good Lord. It's just like that's just. Although I'll still say. Still though, that had nothing. I'm literally eating a brownie. I am so sorry, Avid. That still wasn't as bad as that time I actually. That still wasn't as bad as the time I accidentally walked in on a guy shooting up heroin in the men's room.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, I actually had to see that. That's yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that's I'll leave it there. But we gotta change gears before Avid actually ends up throwing up.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately I've got nothing. But how about them Seahawks?
Oh,
and that means nothing to any of you guys.
I wish it was funny because me and my brother were discussing like something like as a joke fantasy match. I'm like, oh, I hope next year the Redskins fight the Seahawks. I mean, it is possible, but it's like we have to wait like a year or something for that to happen.
It could happen if why that matchup?
I was just curious because seeing my brother's favorite team with your favorite team pitted against each other. Yeah, love you guys. Yeah, okay.
Okay, Shogun, you need to explain how you can be a Redskins fan.
Oh, I'm not a Redskins fan. My brother is.
I said Shogun.
Oh, I gotta wait. I gotta wait for him to come back.
Yeah. He's muted. He's AFK. He's got to. He needs to. It's like.
Hold on.
I'm not. Never. Yeah. Although I'm not sure if I can. Matt, Tank, you guys have anything?
No, sorry.
So apparently in Star Trek Discovery, Spock smiles.
What?
Really?
Yeah, I just had an article pop up on my phone saying that Spock is all smiles in this new clip from Star Trek Discovery.
Is there anything? Wow, is there anything about Star Trek that Discovery doesn't want to ruin?
To be honest, I can give Smiling Spock a pass because in The Cage, you did see Spock smile a lot, and that came from Leonard Nimoy developing the character as being a counter to the captain. Whereas with Pike, he was more somber, more serious, so he made Spock more happy, lighthearted. Then you had William Shatner come in as Kirk. He's more energetic, and Nimoy made Spock more subdued.
Let's see. Avid asks, "What have you guys been reading comic wise lately?" I've only been reading. I only read Deathsworn for a while. Then I just finished reading Sentry's issues from 2018. Other than that, like I've been saving up my money.
Yeah.
If I did have some money now, like, well, maybe like Friday or next Friday, I'll definitely pick up Rags. And then what was that comic that I was interested in? Something Real. Yeah, that's a really good one. I like that one.
Yeah. Actually, it's a good time because the issue 3 of Rags already dropped.
Yeah, it's only like $1, so it's like you'd be crazy not to get it.
Yeah, for me, I haven't been reading much because my local South African post office fucked me over out of, looks like now, 2 copies of Ferryman. Yay. So I'm probably going to have to request a refund on Beatdown Girl. Fun times. And
That's a bummer.
next month, when next month rolls around, I am probably going to be picking up Rags 3 digital, and from now on, sadly, any projects I back will be digital only. So if there's no digital, I won't be backing anymore.
It's about the only way you can be guaranteed that you'll actually get it, because you've said like people will.
Okay, Shogun's back. All right, so Shogun, I was gonna ask. So Brett was talking on one topic about the Seahawks, and I said, "Oh, you like the Redskins?"
Oh yeah, I am a huge Washington Redskins fan. Actually,
okay,
today I was very well. I mean, it's a famous player of ours. Like they died like a couple of years ago. Today's the day. But yeah, I'm a huge Redskins fan.
Yeah. What I was gonna say though is like with Tank, like about the only way you can be guaranteed to get your books is like through digital, because you've said like people will steal anything that comes through the mail out in South Africa, right?
Yeah, they really don't care anymore if it looks like it has any sort of value. Doesn't matter if it's an official document. Doesn't matter. It gets stolen. The only way to get something to you is to pay exorbitant courier fees.
Get the hell out of here! Really?
Yeah, dude, this is literally the wild fucking west. I make no qualms and no jokes about it. We've got shit happening down here that when I told people the first time, they're like, "No, really?" I have to actually go find that video again. And now that you guys are following me, and just post it again about our Navy who use submarines to police fucking sharks.
Yeah,
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you say that again? I'm sorry. You got submarines to what?
Because there are sharks in the ocean.
Yeah. For the sharks?
I shit you not. This was confirmed by one of our fucking admirals.
Oh, that's nothing compared to that's nothing compared to what you've said about the South African police.
All right. So, like, to answer.
What
about
Clay? Tank?
Yeah.
The police?
Oh yes. Our police. Let's see. They require private security to keep them safe, because people break into the police station and hold them fucking hostage.
So you're telling me that they would criminals would break in there to hold them hostage, the police?
To clean out the police armories, yes.
That is literally the fucking Wild West right there. That is crazy.
So I've said numerous times, if the lefty nuts in your country wants a police force that is so fucking inept, they cannot shoot. Oh yeah, let's not even talk about that. Out of our police force, out of our entire police force, which totals around 50,000 officers countrywide, only 25% are actually licensed or certified to use a firearm.
Oh God.
Oh, do you want to hear what? Do you want to know what makes this? Do you want to know what makes this extremely comical?
Oh no, let's not even get there. Next up, I've posted some pictures the other day. A lot of our officers are grossly overweight, and I'm talking about nearly morbidly obese, and they're still on duty. I'm not talking about the fat cop comedy stuff that you guys put out. I'm talking literal walking mountains of fat.
Wait, what is? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. It's like, so what do you talk about with the fat people?
They're. He's saying that
South African cops are fat and overweight and comically undertrained.
Oh, okay.
I
So it's like reminds
I
me.
myself weigh 168 kilograms, so I am fat. You can't throw that fat phobic shit at me.
Okay. Let me. I'm gonna have to convert. Tank. I'm gonna have to convert that to an actual unit of measurement, American.
So you're 370 pounds.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, are we talking all muscle here, big boy, or like what? What's going on?
That's the combination of fat and muscle.
Oh, okay. I mean,
I'm going to.
I don't know the kilograms, but I am almost about 200.
But yeah, so
muscle.
I'm not exactly the smallest person around.
Hey, you know what?
But yeah, so our cops are poorly trained, not qualified, grossly overweight, not fit, and they get held up in their police stations.
And they still need private security.
This reminds me of like. This reminds me of like I can't remember who this woman is, but she's like apparently she's the head of the Department of Health, but she's so fat. I was like, why did you hire her?
Well, you know what? It's the Department of Health. Like I always think, like a lot of trainers and stuff like that are always overweight, but like they don't need to train themselves. They just need to train you right. Just go by what they know. But like I mean, with that,
the funniest part.
Sorry, you can go.
Oh, okay, I found it. Health Minister of Belgium.
You know what though?
Yeah, I was gonna say like I think the funniest part with where South Africa is right now is kind of compared to where they used to be, because there was this really great meme Tank once posted.
Yeah, basically. Back in the day, look, I'm not gonna mince words. The previous government did some nasty shit.
Right.
But we had safety, we had security, and a lot of times, I mean, we have the one hospital over in Johannesburg, Baragwana Hospital. This one it was run by the state for free for black people.
Okay.
That hospital had a world-class burn unit. It is now without beds because all the beds are either wrecked or stolen.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but I'm just thinking like I just remembered that one meme you posted on Twitter that time.
Who would win? Then you list the whole thing about the Angolan army that was trained, supplied by all the Soviet bloc countries, and from our side, some pale boys in an armored car.
Guess who won? Guess who won?
Yeah, you can go look up the Battle of Cuito Cuernaval. I'll give you the name in the Hangout chat again, just so you can have the correct spelling.
How's do you guys like over there have like private military companies and stuff like that come over all the time, or like is that
actually
the majority of PMCs are stocked by former South African Special Forces?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, South African mercenaries are some of the highest paid in the world, believe it or not.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like if all that not secure, like no police force, I'm sure there must be like tons of PMCs.
Private security. So to put it into perspective, our entire military, now this is Navy, Air Force, and normal Army, plus police force, total around 150,000. Private security forces in the country. Total 550,000 standing men and women, and that's a number that keeps climbing every year.
Get the fuck out.
Reason for no, I'm not getting the fuck out of here. And this is where the whole thing really. Now this is where it's going to get really interesting. All these private security companies are run by former police and military. A lot of the standing men are former police and military that were let go from the police force and army and military, obviously, because they're white. Because the current government does not trust them to use their training for the correct reasons.
Oh boy.
This sounds like some Metal Gear shit. Like, honestly, it's like it sounds exactly like I want.
This is purely just race-based politics being employed. Black economic empowerment and affirmative action gone horribly wrong.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, yes, I mean, like, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, fuck, even the Seattle PD are better than South Africa's police. I mean, I don't know if you guys can speak on what Jersey's cops are like.
Oh, Jersey cops. I mean, like, well, in our town specifically, they're pretty good. We don't have like a very high crime rate in our place.
Probably worse out in New York.
Other than common theft, like that's really it. But like, damn, like that like
to put it in perspective.
It puts
considering the fact that sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Considering the fact that London has over York in terms of crime rates, yeah, I think you guys are doing pretty well.
No, and the thing about that too is like, everybody. I don't like to get into politics per se, but like just the fact that I heard that's just like that makes us that we're sheltered. We really are sheltered. Like it's crazy. It is. It's a whole thing outside when you take a look outside of there. That's
Avid says Tank needs
to
make
a comic. I'm sorry.
Avid says Tank needs to make a comic about this.
That is something I would read the shit out of. Like honestly though.
Then let's not even get started on the taxi wars.
I think we might I think the best way of putting it is South Africa as it stands right now, it's a country on the verge of collapsing, right?
Yep, that's pretty much it. So taxi wars. Let me explain that a little bit. So we have taxi associations. Mm-hmm. They are pretty large, armed, and I'm not talking about just some guys running around with a handgun or some revolver. The guys driving taxis are armed with AK-47s. And you guys talk about drive-by shootings. Yeah, these guys rock up, park their taxis, and they start shooting at each other with AK-47s.
Wait, because they because of business? Like, because they need to get the pickups?
Because of fares, yes.
Oh, Jesus.
I tell you, this shit is fucking bad. And in 2014, they broke into Simonstown Naval Base Armory.
Oh my god!
Cleaned it out. Yeah,
into a fucking naval armory. They took everything.
What is this? It's like a fucking GT Online heist. Yeah,
guys, I wasn't kidding when I said South Africa's on the verge of collapsing.
No, I just felt feel bad.
Like something. Did CD Projekt Red go to make Cyberpunk off of South Africa for a second? It's like, yeah, this area is on the bridge of collapse, but it's still kind of holding itself together.
Now wait, let me ask Tank something here.
Yeah,
I'm curious now. Now, would you say, is there any part of South Africa that's good?
Well, the weather's great.
Look.
For the most part, it depends on where you are. Honestly, at this point in time, it depends on where you are in the country and all the shit that's happening, because a lot of the crap that's happening is due to instigation by the former president, Jacob Zuma. He was ousted from his position due to him being a very corrupt motherfucker.
Right.
To give you an idea, if you have to draw a parallel to one of your politicians, Hillary Clinton is a white female version of Jacob Zuma.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
that's the fastest bullet points I can give you. Let's see. This is a guy that allowed foreign nationals to land at Oh, that's it. I'm just going to give it to you. Give you the English name. Water Valley Air Force Base.
Okay.
And this is a national key point. And foreign nationals, not even dignitaries, just normal foreign nationals who are friends of the president, land there for their daughter's motherfucking wedding.
Do they? Let's see. Avid asked, do they at least make sure the opposing taxi car doesn't have a passenger in it?
Damn. I don't think they even have time to check. It doesn't even sound
Oh yeah,
like
like oh, hold on, I got
these guys. If they see a rival taxi from a rival association, they start shooting. They don't get to find shits.
This is like literally crazy.
I know what he's gonna say. I know what you're gonna say, Clay.
I was gonna say this is like literally Crazy Taxi, but if like, hey, let's put guns in.
No, I thought you were gonna say the the Ice Cream Wars, the Scottish Ice Cream Wars.
Oh yeah, that too.
Oh,
that's
wait, that's actually a thing. That's not a meme.
No, that's real. That is definitely real.
We know it's a thing. It's just like it was comparison.
Our mother is from there, so she knows like all about that. But
the first meme I found.
But that is.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The taxi association. Sorry.
Did you ever think about leaving?
There's
expensive.
the rub. There's the rub.
To properly immigrate to the United States, which I'm just going to use that as the measuring tool.
Right.
But you can pretty much apply the money amount to any country in the world, other than here. You're looking at around $300,000.
So you're starting to see the problem.
And so now take that 300,000 times 14.5 as per current exchange, and you'll start to see why exactly that is not as easy as it sounds.
Right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So you understand the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a coinky dink right there.
Yeah.
No, that's oh my god though.
Yeah.
Do you feel like I'm sorry, do you feel like like you're trapped there, or like do you actually like, or do you feel like there's gonna be a breakthrough somehow?
Well, we'll see soon enough. The next general elections are next year.
Okay.
Didn't you say there's a problem with the South African voting system though?
Yes. So how our voting works in terms of politics, we don't vote for a candidate. We vote for the party, and then the party decides who they make president, and then the president stocks his cabinet and the parliament with the ministers he wants.
That's like voting. Oh my god.
But that said, we do not have currently, thankfully, presidents or ministers for life. So each time a new president comes in, the entire cabinet and everything changes around based on the amount of seats won in parliament during the election.
How is it that your again, I don't want to go political.
Our ass backwards shithole third world country has term limits on people? I don't know. But
yeah, I was gonna be honest. Yeah, like a third world country, it's like, of course, your political system is gonna be worse than ours.
Well, here's the thing: South Africa used to be really good back in the day.
Yeah. Well, it used to be good, but no, not so much.
That's true. That's a struggle like that. What? So wait. So how old are you now, Tank? Do you mind if I ask?
33.
33.
Yes.
How old were you when you think it was like decent? Like you were living in a, not so Wild Westish kind of like crazy.
I lived through the decline.
Okay.
I grew up during the decline.
Ah, boy.
Oh man! Wow.
So I was born in 85. I was there for the first general election. High on the euphoria of, hey, shit might actually go better. And then just year after year growing up, seeing how everything just starts slipping away.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly, the kind of thing. But I am actually trying to work on a way to get the fuck. But it's a long shot, but they might work.
Oh, you're trying to work on a way to get out?
Yes, I am actually.
Now, would you want to go to would you want to go to the US or would you want to go somewhere else?
Well, let me put it this way. Australia does not want South Africans.
Oh boy.
They have too
Really?
many of us. And yes.
Oh.
New Zealand, for obvious reasons. I just don't like New Zealand.
Yep.
Canada actually turned away a family recently who were brutally attacked. They had all the photographic and video proof to prove that they have been persecuted because of their race. And the Canadian government told them, no, you're spreading propaganda. Fuck off.
Oh my God.
It's
And
the
sent
French
them back.
Canadians. That's who.
The only country that I actually do see myself is in the
Oh yeah,
States.
Avid. It's like Avid did say this. At this point, you could go to China or Pakistan, and that would be an upgrade.
Pakistan. Not quite. What?
Oh,
Pakistan's basically, look, I'm not going to say terrorist territory, but like,
They're close enough to Afghanistan, so I don't really care.
I mean, you know
But
what?
no.
Honestly, I agree with that. Yeah, you definitely don't want to go to fucking Pakistan.
And China, and of course, China's a fucking police state, so that's
Yep.
off the table.
Well, police states, yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, our friend Robert last podcast was talking how his friend can't really say anything, you know.
Oh yeah,
basically, 'cause-
yeah. The guy from Tom and Artie, like his artist is Chinese, and they have to they can't be there's sort of things she has to be careful of what she's saying because never know.
Because they're
what the gov-
monitoring her?
Because police states.
yeah, it's a
God, he-
police state.
That's
Yeah.
So
Chi-
think Patriot Act, but jacked up to such a degree
Yeah.
where you guys have absolutely no freedom to say anything whatsoever.
and people can disappear in the middle of the night.
They can rendition your
They'll
ass and
kill
stick
you.
you into the deepest,
They'll
darkest
kill
hole
you
they want.
over. You thought like the UK was bad over going to jail over an opinion. Yeah, China will kill you for it.
Not just not just kill you. They'll not only arrest you, they will torture you.
How about? Oh my God. How about Germany,
So,
Tank?
the whole thing. Oh, mein Führer Merkel. No, thank you.
So yeah, it's
I was gonna say Germany. I don't think they're like super.
No, guys, honestly,
Holding-
I do not see myself going to Europe because they are fucking falling apart because they're importing the third world at a rate that will see them, if the current projections are accurate, not be Europe anymore by 2025.
so basically the US is your only option.
Pretty much.
So
Yeah, I mean-
Russia it is. Let's go now.
Not Russia. No,
I know.
heck no. Especially
Probably that.
where
Well,
mostly
Russia,
everyone-
Poland, Hungary.
Yeah, but you can't.
I already ate lunch.
Can you speak Russian, Polish, or Hungarian though, Tank?
No, I don't. I speak 3 languages. English,
Well, what's that?
Afrikaans, and a whole lot of shit.
What's
Uh,
the 3 languages?
Yes, 3: English, Afrikaans, and a whole lot of shit.
I know.
Then in that case, Clay and Shogun should be well versed in that one. They're from Jersey.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A whole
It's
lot of
like
shit.
I only when I curse or get mad, that's when the Jersey accent pops in.
Coffee,
no, the whole
dog,
thing is when I get very angry, I go native as well.
Oh man, I remember. Oh dude, I remember. It was one of our werewolf sessions where I decided to just have have Clay just have his character complete road rage. That was just beautiful.
Yeah,
it was
that
hilarious.
So like if you are gonna go to the US, here's a few, in my opinion, here's the states that you should not move into. Okay, number 1, California. Number 2, California. Number 3,
New
I'll
York.
say it.
California.
Why? All right. Well, you know what though? I honestly
Because
think North Carolina is a good option.
why people like not move to California.
Well, if you want to stay on the West Coast with them, then you get to stay in the West Coast with your boys. You know what I'm saying, Tank?
Well, I would say move. Well, only reason also too. Well, you could move to Washington, but Washington, of course, like a lot of politics. But
no, I was just Tank already is kind of set on something more like Montana or Utah.
Oh, okay, those are good.
Anyway, where there's where there's very gun friendly laws, pretty much.
Honestly, the best gun laws are in Arizona. There's just one problem.
Oh yeah, total. Yeah, what's the problem?
Well, Arizona's a desert.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Don't
get a little Red Dead going. Let's go.
If you want to go to like the world's at least the emptiest state in the U.S., I think you should go to Wyoming, because Wyoming's like it's nothing. It's literally nothing.
I'm literally nothing.
It's literally just like high winds, and every once in a while you'll see a car or a truck being pulled over by the wind, and that's pretty much the best thing you'll see in that state.
Yeah.
I think I tried selling him on Alaska. Why was it you turned Alaska down, Tank?
Well, let me put it this way. I also know I've come to know quite a few guys that side now via Twitter and everything. And I'd like to be in a position relatively to be able to meet them occasionally.
Yeah, you can't do that if you live up in Alaska.
And also Alaska, even though it really doesn't matter, like Alaska has the highest crime rate in the U.S.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah, because people can legit go missing there. There's a serial killer there that nobody's ever going to be able to solve because literally it's Alaska.
Well, I think they actually did that once. They did the whole thing of if New York City had the population density of Alaska, 25 people would live there.
Really?
Well,
nobody. But they always say that New York, like when in the day, it's like an extra million or so people there because business and work and. Yeah. Well, business. I'll
say that. Like, here's
what I've learned. I want to avoid any of the major cities and the major states. Like on either coast.
Yeah, like there's
Well, you'll be very safe.
If you're ever gonna go to New York, like, and I mean the city, just visit the city. Please don't ever think of ever trying to live in the city, because oh man.
Yeah, I lived a few days in a dorm room in New York City, like right in the heart of Manhattan, and no, I'll never date that girl again.
I played the division now. I don't want to be in any high density population area when some fucking virus breaks out.
I was about to say, like, I was thinking, like, you must be avoiding some sort of zombie apocalypse or something. What did you see?
Well, for one, he's digging. Right now he's battling bronchitis at the moment.
I just fucking saw 28 Days Later yesterday, and that shit got me scared. Like, I don't want to live here anymore.
Rural area, nice long sight lines. Yeah, you got it done.
Yeah. Clay knows how much I've talked about like why I stay out of Seattle as much as I can.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say too. Is like, yeah, that's another thing. Like, if you ever thought about moving to Jersey, don't, because the driving here is horrible. Like, literally, our parents are like the best drivers in the state, and you can quote me on that.
Okay, so explain bad drivers. So it's like if a single drop of rain or a single drop of whatever falls on the road, people absolutely lose their shit and crash their cars.
That's
in South Africa. In fucking South Africa.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? We gotta remember that you also lose in Grand Theft Auto land.
that happens out. That somehow happens out in Washington too. Like rains all the time out here, and somehow people still don't know how to drive.
It's a hydroplane of the world.
I get. Yeah, I mean, like there's the occasional flood warnings. There's that. Matt, how about Michigan?
Michigan is whatever it feels like being.
Yeah, because
you live near Detroit, or is it like?
Yeah, about
okay.
hour and a half away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I used to know a couple people in in Taylor, and they always said that Michigan's kind of nice. I always wanted to visit Ann Arbor, though.
Why, for the Wolverines?
Yeah, I'm a huge football fan. I also want to play football. There's a lot of things I've been wanting to do in my life.
I used to play rugby. I'm all fucked up now
you?
from injuries.
That's how he got his nickname, actually.
Tank?
Yeah, that's my nickname.
There's this guy that actually just got into the NFL, and all he ever did was play rugby. He never played one day of football in his life. His name was Jordan Mailata.
Rugby is a very, very harsh sport on your body.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
I mean, I played it last in school, and I'm suffering with shoulder and knee injuries now.
I was about to say your knees must be completely shot. Like we always see like ACL, MCL injuries nowadays. It's that must be rough.
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, it's not too bad, but yeah. But so I just want to cap off shit from this side. So while everything I've said is pretty bad, believe it or not, being the eternal optimist I am, I still believe that the country could recover. I actually honestly still do believe that.
Hey, you know what?
Get their shit together.
Yeah, it's on the verge of collapsing. Hasn't actually collapsed yet.
Yeah. Again, think of like that's what I'm saying before. It's kind of I know it's stupid to say, but it's kind of like Cyberpunk. It's like we're on that verge of like almost going to like basically Fallout, but not yet. We're still kind of.
There's hope.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I hope for the best. Hope for the best.
As do I. But that is why I'm keeping my options open.
Of course.
Yeah, just. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So to go with Avid's other questions that he didn't answer, I apologize for that. It's like, how is Death Sworn? The art looks dope. Yeah, me and Shogun read Death Sworn issues 1 and 2. It's fantastic. You should buy them. You get them on Etsy. They're depending on if you live in the U.S., it may take a while because like they're from Ireland, so it takes a while.
There's not a digital version. You can only get in print.
Yeah, well, yeah, that I know of. Yeah, you only can get them physical copies. You can't get them digitally. I own something real issue 1 and 2. It's really good. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's it.
All right. Okay, actually, now that I did this with Matt earlier, but now that I've got more people in here, this is just too funny to not make fun of.
All right, go.
Piping hot take from Movie Bob.
Oh, this should be good.
Oh no!
When you think about it, the mutants and X-Men make a much better metaphor for being white than any sort of minority. They get special powers just by being born, organized in an East Coast private school, and even the good ones who fight the bad ones are kind of smug about it.
Well, he really just made a great point that reverse racism exists. You played yourself.
Man,
How did anyone ever take Movie Bob seriously? Ever?
This is just as like bad as like that one idiot who may be trolling. I don't know. Like I don't know if you Brett. I don't know if you saw Weaponized latest video on the whole orc thing.
I'm a bit behind on Rage's videos. Like that dude puts out so many.
Yeah,
I
okay, so
told you about it earlier.
it's like basically in a nutshell. If let's see, I think it was basically the orcs. I don't know, some colored thing. Oh, the orcs aren't bad guys.
Matt
they're
told
like,
me about this.
they're like colored people or something. I think it was kind of like that. I was like, come on, man. It's like don't be putting IRL stuff in a fantasy race. Like
To be fair, I just want to say, to be fair, there was IRL stuff in Lord of the Rings, but that was drawn from Tolkien's personal experience being in World War One.
Exactly. And it was like the way Weaponized said it, I loved it, where it's like he based the books basically on like, another thing is like with the Hobbits is the kind of his own like wishes and fulfillments that he wants to like live a very calm and normal life, just kind of like in a
it was kind of based, that was also, the Hobbits were kind of more or less based on his childhood growing up in the Welsh countryside.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, oh man, actually Matt told me about this one guy out in Russia who tried basically doing a deconstruction of Lord of the Rings. Matt, can you take the floor for this one?
Basically what he did was he wrote Lord of the Rings through the eyes of Mordor and painting the people of Middle Earth as the bad guys. So, which is basically his allegory for the Iraq War. But it's really funny how he's been trying to get sold in the United States, and he's been blocked by the Tolkien estate, saying that he has that he's going to be in danger of copyright infringement. And they will sue any publisher that publishes it. It's just one giant mess when people try to take other people's work.
It's hilarious, though.
It's just funny that it's all these postmodernist people that are trying to deconstruct these things.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, if you're going to deconstruct something, you got to reconstruct it properly back up.
But they can't. They know only how to destroy.
Because nihilism, Rick and Morty, wubba dub dub.
Oh, yeah, I'm a nihilist.
One sauce.
Yeah. Also, Avid just said my copy of the new Blake Northcott book arrived, packaged and sucked, and it came with a crushed spine. Oh man.
Ouch.
Should probably
hear that.
Should probably tell Blake about that. She's not going to let that stand.
Yeah, she really isn't.
Yeah, because Blake is very big on making sure on customer satisfaction. She is. She's gonna have words with whoever. Avid's gonna bounce. Have a good one. Yeah. Avid, you should tell Blake about that. I guarantee she's gonna have words with whoever ships her stuff.
Yeah. Once again, I'm sorry, Avid, that I couldn't talk on the comic before you left.
Well, it's just that's kind of the price we pay for keeping these conversations so casual.
Yeah, because we just drag on these conversations, and sometimes we just go into another completely other topic. Yeah. Let her know. Good.
That's my fault.
No, it's not. I mean, sure, you were talking about your country.
We're talking about the downfall of your country, and
we're all at fault. Let's just admit that.
Yeah.
It's all our fault.
Yeah. Joke. Let's make fun of it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of like it keeping everything so loose, though, just because
makes it easier.
Well, not just that; it just feels
fun.
Too. Next time, DM me sometime. Maybe we should get Avid next week. But yeah, it's just I like keeping it casual. I like keeping it friendly. I like keeping. I don't think shit doesn't need to be so formal all the time, man.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get to the point where I believe in a no block rule because I actually believe in freedom of speech to a very, very high degree.
Except with
But
the parasite.
I just ignore that. For the most part, I just ignore shit. The only time I block people, then I just do a return block in any case. So even if it's somebody with a block script, oh, you blocked me, I'll just block you as well. Because apparently the Twitter algorithm checks how many times somebody blocks you.
Oh, interesting.
And that adds to your possibility to get shadow banned.
Interesting.
Okay,
So
here's
like I said, apparently I've got no information.
That is interesting. Hey, Shogun, bringing it back to Superman. What did you think of what was it? Superboy? The thing you had.
Superboy Prime? You're talking about?
No, not Superboy Prime. I'm talking about Super Sons.
Oh, Super Sons.
Oh yeah, with John. I think Jonathan Kent, like
and Damian Wayne, and their best friends.
Oh boy, well.
Don't even tell what happened to Jonathan, who ruined it. Well, who ruined his character? Bendis, you son of a bitch!
Well, because Bendis. I've been watching quite a few of the streams. People discuss his writing. It's like he pretty much does that purely for being a fucking reason. You know, he's reached the end of his time, and I think he's now reached the point where he just doesn't give a shit anymore. And
let's just be honest,
fucking it up.
He's fucking washed up.
Ben, you know what that pissed me off too is
he used to be great. Like Ultimate Spider-Man, great fucking book. His Daredevil run, one of the best Daredevil, second only to Frank Miller. Alias, great book too.
No, Ben,
see, that's the thing. That was his peak. And after that, downhill.
Yeah, it's like every
Unfortunately, that happens.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Now that I think about it, like when they started giving him Avengers titles, that's when it started felt like he was phoning it in.
Yeah, like especially like once again, it's like I think I hated Bendis because I read only the specific Avengers titles with Sentry in it, so it's like oh, there's a new guy because this was I think a few years ago. I was like, oh, there's a new guy writing Sentry with Bendis. Like I didn't read the 2018 stuff till, of course, much later. But when I read the other stuff, it's like you treat him like he was a fucking idiot. I'm like, come on, Bendis. Yeah. I'm like, no wonder, like he doesn't know how to write Superman characters well because he fucked over with Sentry.
I guess that's a good way of putting it, but but yeah, you're okay. Yeah, we'll admit Bendis ruins Jonathan Kent, but Super Sons back when it was running, I mean, like I hadn't heard nothing but good things about it. I remember.
Yeah, well, around the time it came out, it was I mean, I really liked it. I mean, I thought it was all right, and then what was it? Fucking, what is it? What is the 2017 edition, right? It was fucking, I forgot what issue it was that I hated. I don't know. Like I saw Boy Zorro and stuff like that. Like that was fun.
That sounds fucking goofy.
Oh,
what comic?
He said Boy Zorro.
You know Boy Zorro? Well, that's like John Kent, but it's like.
Oh yeah.
It was, what was it? It was like. There was, like the regular in like October of like last year.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the first like 1 through 5 the issues came out. And then it just like the more and more they came out, the more and more shit it was. Like then they had to connect to stuff like Super Sons of Tomorrow, which oh god, that issue. No, they always have to connect now. Like all the comics that I read now, like they'll have like 5 issues that are great, and then they'll stop and have to connect with another issue. Like Cosmic Ghost Rider. Comic Ghost Rider is done, You know, now they're connecting to the Guardians of the Galaxy. But in realness, like, why the fuck would anyone ever need Cosmic Ghost Rider? And whatever they need him for, they probably are just gonna let him point him in the direction of what needs to be destroyed, and he can do it. I mean, if you read the comics, man, he just like kills everybody. He kills everybody in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. This is actually, I was gonna say. So speaking of this may be a bit of a controversial opinion, but I've heard this through a bit of the Twitter comic book grapevine. But people are saying this: is Donny Cates becoming the new upcoming like best Marvel writer so far?
I have heard nothing but good things about Donny Cates. Every book he makes is good. The guy is a class act on Twitter.
Yeah, generally when he, especially on the Twitter thing, he generally, like, he was asked why he made Cosmic Ghost Rider, and his only reply was, "I just thought it would be cool." Like, that's really like, you can't get more real than that.
Yeah, like, honestly, for me personally, he took a big risk making a character like that, but he
it was a big risk.
Yeah, he really made it very well, and of course, like, he wrote. Correct me if I'm wrong. He wrote like the Thanos comic books for a little bit before Cosmic Ghost Rider. And the ending was perfect. Like, oh my god, that was like an amazing ending.
Yeah, I mean, the ending for Cosmic Ghost Rider was very lackluster, but now he is actually making the Carnage series that I'm about to read. So, and that's also my favorite, like, one of my favorite Marvel villains of all time. So, and you want to talk about like fucked up people, man? This guy's Cletus Cassidy's really fucked up.
Oh man, I can remember back when I was a kid. I had this. It was this collection of Marvel DC crossover comics, and one was with Batman and Spider-Man, where Joker and Carnage team up, and they're going over the different reasons why they like killing people, and like Joker's all about the mayhem and the chaos and the theatrics of it, and Carnage says, "That's stupid. What's fun about killing people is getting to tear their flesh apart." And Joker's just standing there, and he's like, "Okay, that's too much even for me."
He did the same exact thing with Red Skull too, because he was like, "Oh, I'll do all this horrible stuff, but I'm not going to associate myself with a Nazi."
I might be a lunatic, but I'm an American lunatic.
Yeah, I was like,
Or like,
I was almost like,
that was highlighted in Carnage USA, by the way.
If there was ever a time for me to actually kind of like the Joker, that would have been that time. But other than that, it's like, no, he's still a horrible person.
I think I once tweeted that. I was gonna say I once tweeted.
There's also that time.
Matt,
Jesus. All right, so yeah, there's also that time where the Joker refused to defy the IRS too.
Yeah, that was funny.
The Joker commits tax fraud?
No, he would. Not even he would.
Whoa.
Oh, man. The Joker's behind Thought Haunted.
Yeah, what was that funny line that he said in the animated series? It's like, Batman I could go up against, but the IRS, no, sir.
Wow. Yoshi's willing to commit it, and he's not?
No, I was...
Yoshi's more evil than Joker.
Wait.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. Okay, now what I was going to say is that page where he had that thing with the... Where he had that thing with the Red Skull. I actually once tweeted... It's like one of my old tweets. It's buried. You'd have to go digging through my Twitter to find it, but it's there.
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
So what I took that page and tweeted out that moment when Joker and the fucking Joker is more patriotic than most of Marvel's staff.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, again, I wonder who wrote that, because you got to commend them for writing something that, I mean, it was a surprise for sure, It kind of would,
It's just like, I don't know. I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, does that actually seem like it keeps in character with the Joker? Like, like he's gonna be grossed out by Carnage's wanton slaughter, or he's not gonna or he's gonna not be down with the Red Skull's politics. Does that actually seem like him?
I think like he does. Yeah, Joker really, I think, doesn't, as a character, I really think he doesn't care about politics. He just cares about.
He's just chaos. He's
he's chaos, but also he could run his own little. He has in the Dark Knight. He has manipulated the criminal underworld before.
I don't know. Guys? What's your take on that?
You know what? I feel like Joker in a way. I don't think that like he necessarily finds enjoyment off of killing random people. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I don't know, because there's the thin line. There's some parts in comic books where he enjoys doing it specifically just to get to Batman, and then there's times like Frank Miller's run on when
You talk about like the Dark Knight Returns?
Yeah, like when he, specifically went out and started just, like shooting up a carnival and everything like that. Like that was pretty bad,
Still, though, actually, even then, there was kind of a point to that. Like that was like he said, because like he said, like it was all to get Batman to break.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
and I think like also almost kind of too. It almost felt like a suicide rush thing. Like he knew he may die in this. Considering, of course, they're both old. So,
yeah. Matt, Tank, what about you?
Matt.
Yeah.
Guys,
which part about Joker?
Like, does it seem like it's keeping it in his character that he's like is gonna find Carnage's Carnage's methods distasteful, or he's not gonna agree with the Red Skull's politics?
Honestly, it keeps in touch with the Joker being an agent of chaos. You're not going to expect him to do anything.
That's quite interesting because Joker, I don't know. The way I see how he operates, I don't think he'll take too kindly to Carnage's methods, because Carnage is, too violent, because Joker puts a lot of theatrics into it.
Yes.
But you'll find Red Skull too political.
Yeah, true. Like, do you feel like Carnage does it to get to Spider-Man, or do you feel like Carnage just loves the idea of killing people constantly?
He's just mass murder without a point to it.
Yeah, like if Spider-Man with or without Spider-Man, that like Carnage is going to be Carnage, right?
That's who Carnage is. Honestly, like Spider-Man's version of the Joker is the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
It's like, but then like Carnage is like, oh, just take out the reasoning, and then you got just him,
It's just he's just killing for the sake of killing.
Yeah.
That's honestly, I mean, like, I'm gonna say it though. I mean, like he's there with Carnage. That's a character you got to play right, because it's one of those things where you can get so over the top with it that it becomes comical and you can't take him seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, there are times, like he had. I remember when I took a psychology class, I actually was looking at some villains, and before we even did that though, we were looking up like serial killers, and they always have a similar situation as to like how they're raised and how like they grew up and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it always is kind of like the same. Like a lot of serial killers did terrible things to like animals and stuff like that. Like they found enjoyment out of it. And Carnage, like how they wrote Cletus Cassidy was like he, bludgeoned his dog to death with a hammer. Like he, like the way his origin went, like they tried to really stay true to like this guy is. Even before Spider-Man was a thought in everybody's head, he was doing something to hurt somebody or to do something to like, kill, so like he has stayed true. And like some kids, they don't realize that like that's what like when they read about Carnage, they think about this like badass like red symbiote dude, but like he's a really fucked up individual, like
Yeah, he is.
so it's something, I feel like I love his character. I think he's a great character.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get. Yeah, still though, I mean, like, if you want, still though, I mean, like, when it comes to like case studies for like messed up in the head, I don't think it can top Moon Knight.
No, Moon Knight. Oh yeah, no, definitely can't top Moon Knight. I mean, Moon Knight is, in lack of better words, like like psychologists would be definitely worried about this guy walking around, like with society, like it's
There's no getting around it. He's fucking insane.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, but that's why I actually like. That's why I like a lot of comic books now, where they like delve into like the psychology of humans and stuff like that. Especially when I was reading that comic. I forgot what was the issue of the comic. I forgot it was like. It was recent though, where they were just talking about like he has all these friends that he used to know. Like he was traveling through the world, and everybody could see. Like nobody could see what he was seeing, but like New York was like a sandstorm, and the god Khonshu was being not as descriptive, and was just telling him the world's in peril, and you are the only one that can see this, that can fix it. But like nobody else can see it, and he's in the hospital, and they're trying to like convince him that he's not Moon Knight, he's nobody, like he's just a regular guy. And like it's kind of like The Darkness too, if you ever like played that game. Like they had that one part where, and I could definitely relate it to like how it was, because like he was. Well, you should play The Darkness too. It's actually a pretty good game. I like it.
Yeah, I think another good example of that was when Peter David took over the Hulk, and he really kind of got into Bruce Banner's psyche, and that was, I think it was right around when he started writing the Hulk, where he started playing with the idea that the Hulk and Bruce Banner were two separate personalities.
Yeah, I like that idea, that more than just like, oh, the Hulk was just something that just came out when he took the radiation. It's like, it's more believable that it's a personality that came out of him, and also his dad experimented on him. Well, granted,
are you talking about the movie? Because I think like in the comics it's a little different.
Yeah, that was the Ang Lee Hulk movie where he experimented on his son, and that's why he became the Hulk. Like I'll give that movie this like it. I really liked how they made the Hulk how he was, like both in his person, like how he came to be from his personality, and how at the very least plausible how he, Bruce survived his gamma exposure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like a thing that Peter David brought up in like the comics was that where the Hulk's personality came from was that Bruce was abused by his dad.
Yeah. And that was kind of the same thing with Ang Lee. Like he just, it was like some horrible stuff involving his father.
Yeah, horrible stuff involving his father, and the fact that his father experimented on him as a kid.
Yep, exactly.
And well, to be fair, like Bruce's dad was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Well, you know what too? Like there have been other like characters that have shown like some display. Like what else? Fucking Ant-Man. Like when Ant-Man beat his wife, like it was in the
We talk about the Ultimates or just regular Marvel, because he's done it in both. Although in the Ultimates was fucking overkill, like spraying Janet with a can of Raid. Dude,
I said before, the ultimate universe, everybody but Spider-Man is kind of nuts. I don't know if Shogun knows, like Captain America when he says this letter doesn't stand for France.
That was funny though. Surrender. You think this letter stands for France?
And then there was that And then there was after that scene where Hank Pym abuses Janet. You see Captain America go in and beat the crap out of him, even when he was in his giant.
Yeah, I said this before the last one. That one was really good.
I mean, I guess I get why they add that, but some things I'm just like, when they do things like that, it's you know, I just like letting like comic book writers write sometimes what they feel like. I feel like, especially with that part, you know, you can't make that shit up. Like, like I didn't expect that to happen, and then when it did, I kind of knew from like the original, like how he used to, you know, beat his wife, but like that was just so excessive and constant. You know, you just don't expect that, especially since kids are obviously reading this shit. So it's like, all right, well, damn, you know.
To be fair, I don't think Ultimates was intended for a general audience.
Yeah, you know, like, but eventually kids are gonna read it, you know, like,
yeah, you're not
do
wrong
it
about
either
that.
way regardless, but it's like,
You're not wrong about that. Yeah, we've been going. Yeah, so yeah, we've been going about. Ooh, we've been going out for about 3 hours, and it's noon right now, and I still.
Yeah.
It's noon my side, and of course Matt and I still haven't a show at 1 PM. Tank is not gonna. We know Tank. If you can make that, that'll be cool. But we don't.
Well,
but we know.
I probably will because I've got my little weird sleeping schedule right now to use meds.
Okay, so yeah, and of course Clay and
That's going to be around what time?
6 PM PST.
That would be Tacoma, right? Washington.
Yep, that's my time zone. So let me do the conversion for you, Mir.
No, I'm already busy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh well,
Yeah.
no, that's perfectly fine. I mean, that's like 4 AM on my side, so I will
All right,
definitely be awake by then.
All right, so yeah, okay, so yeah, Tank. Okay, so I guess
But
we'll.
for now, I'm going to go sleep and have a rest, and then contemplate my fucking moves forward because
we'll
I've got timeline police right now, and I hate that fucker.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good. We're good for. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we'll call it good for now, and we'll just reconvene at 6 PM PST, and then we'll have Comics Girl Ava and Ginger on there too.
cheers, guys.
you have a good one,
Yeah.
all right, bud.